All right, should we be going on? Stand by.
Now, Greyhounds fans, everyone remain on your feet as the band, under the direction of drum major Ravi, performs the Carmel High School fight song.
All right, let's go. Hello and welcome back to the Carmel Football Stadium for another... Just got played. Hello and welcome back to the Carmel Football Stadium for another Carmel football game. We should have a good game tonight. The Carmel Greyhounds are going up against Lawrence North. Josh, what can you tell us about Carmel's last game?
Well, Dashaun, they're coming off of a bad loss to a very good team. The Trinity Shamrocks were able to take down the Greyhounds 41-14 in Kentucky. I will say the Lawrence North Wildcats are off to a good season on that side of things. They are 4-0. Dashaun, does that alarm you at all?
It is a very good record, especially considering Lawrence North only won 4 games last year. But what I will say, the teams that they are facing are a little bit on the weaker side. The teams they beat have a combined record of 2-12, so that record is good, but it doesn't tell you the whole story.
Most definitely, Dashaun, and I do think Carmel is bound to bounce back after that big loss from last week. I do also think it's worth noting the Greyhounds are a total of 25-3 against the Wildcats in their all-time matchup history. 25-3, Dashaun. I mean, wow. I'd say it's safe to say that they almost own the Wildcats.
Very true, very true. And on that note, it's probably also worth noting that Coach Heber is 7-1 all-time against Lawrence North. Josh, what do you think Carmel has to do tonight offensively to keep this dominating record on their side?
So getting into some game logistics, the offense is going to have to perform and keep up with Lawrence North's offense. Lawrence North has one of the better offenses in the state. Let's get into some of that. In their first week against Avon, they were able to put up 24. They followed that performance with a 35-point game, following that with 41, and they scored 49 points last week against North Central. That is why it is going to be crucial for Carmel's offense to try and keep up with that, put as many points on the board as they can. Just keep up with that strong and dominant Lawrence North offense.
And speaking of putting up points, let's talk about some players you want to look out for if you want to see some points. The first player I've got is Elijah Al-Fayed. It's his 3rd game back. He's still getting into that groove, but we know what he's capable of. Last year as a junior, he led the team in rushing yards. Who's a player that you should look out to get in the end zone tonight?
Well, first of all, Dashaun, I do think Alf is bound for a good game, especially on senior night. A player that I'm looking forward to watching tonight is Ozzie Pollard. He leads the team in total touchdowns with 4, and I do think it's worth noting that is a tight end who has scored all 4 of his touchdowns on rushing touchdowns. When you give the ball off to him at the 1-yard line, at the 2-yard line on the goal line, he is going to get in. He's already done it 4 times this season. We can expect a great game from Ozzie. That is a name to look out for.
Very true. And my last player to look out for today is Nathan Rogers. He's in a similar situation to Al-Fayed. You know, he's moved into a bigger role as some of the senior players from last year have left. And also we've seen E, who played at receiver and was the wide receiver 1 during his absence. He's moved to the defensive side of the ball more. So you should expect Nate Rogers to get more touches.
Now, definitely another senior there, Dashaun. Hopefully he can have a big night. The last thing I want to mention for this offense is they're going to have to stop relying on the defense and special teams to give them opportunities. If they want to get onto the board as much as they need to, they're going to have to stop relying on, especially a player I we've said a lot this year, Christian Peterson, with the interceptions and the big punt returns. They're going to have to be able to create their own opportunities tonight to get as many points as they can.
Speaking of Christian Peterson, what an all-star player. But while we're on the topic of defense, why don't you tell me about Carmel's defense?
Defense is hoping to bounce back after a frustrating game last week, gave up a total of 41. What they're going to have to do tonight is contain Lawrence North's skill positions. We talked about it, or let's get into that right now. They have some of the best skill position players that we have seen, and that's why their offense is so strong. One guy that they're going to have to contain is Isaiah Moore, a freshman running back for the Wildcats who's averaging 154 rushing yards per game. That is incredible, Dashaun. What do you know about Isaiah Moore?
I mean, especially considering he was a freshman. I mean, I was looking at the box scores, and it's like video game numbers. I mean, 154 rushing yards per game, and he's averaging 8.5 yards per carry. That's nearly a first down every time he touches the ball. I mean, that's crazy. And let's not also talk about how he had a game well over 200 rushing yards, almost 250 all-purpose yards, just absolutely crazy. But what can you tell us about Lawrence North's receiving corps?
So yeah, the skill positions did not stop at their freshman running back. Their receiving corps has been amazing this year. Junior wide receiver Davian Chandler averaging 86 receiving yards per game, followed up with Robert Oldham, the senior wide receiver, who's averaging 56.5 receiving yards per game. Let's get into some comparison here with our Carmel's leaders and the skill positions. So we already said that their running back is averaging 154 rushing yards per game. Our leading running back is averaging 38.8 rushing yards. That is Colin Johnson. And now the receivers, their top receiver averaging 86 yards. Their second option averaging 56.5. Our leading receiver is averaging 34 receiving yards a game. And that doesn't tell you how good these skill positions are. I mean, what will? So how are we going to be able to contain them? What matchups do we have tonight, Dashaun?
Yeah, the biggest matchup we'll be looking out for is junior Davion Chandler lining up against Christian Peterson. This matchup could just tell the game. We know the Lawrence North likes running the ball, but when they go up against a bigger team like Carmel, they might have to rely more on the passing game. So this is a matchup to look out for.
And another important matchup, it will be E guarding Robert Oldham. He is their second option. Both of those two are just studs. I do think our defense is going to be able to hang with them, though, Dashaun. If we haven't hyped up LN's offense enough, don't fret it too much. Our defense has looked amazing so far this year. We have caused 9 turnovers through 4 games. We have some of the best defensive players in the state. So don't fret it too much. LN has played some easy opponents, and I think our defense will do just fine containing them. But we'll see. I think it's going to be a great matchup tonight.
Very true, and we're just about done with our pregame show. But before we send it back up to the host, can you give us an updated injury report, please?
And for the injury report tonight, we have a couple big names for the Greyhounds. Safety Hunter Snow is out for the season with the knee injury. We're super bummed about that. He was a huge part of this team, especially for a young guy, only a sophomore. Not only Dominic Shockley, but also Hunter Snow, another big name. And offensive lineman Caden Hustle is out with a leg injury. Hopefully that doesn't hurt the Greyhounds too much, but those are all of the Greyhounds out for tonight.
And that's all we have for our pregame show tonight. We'll see you guys at halftime.
With the tough loss on the road against Trinity, Carmel looks to bounce back and find the rhythm as they take on the 4-0 Wildcats. The Hounds have been hard at work preparing for this game. Lawrence North's offense is truly dynamic with a very strong run game. However, Carmel has proven that they can shut down strong offenses. Will Carmel's defense hold off the Wildcats, or will they be the ones to make them pray?
Hello and welcome to Carmel Stadium. I'm Casey Stevens. Alongside me is my good friend and color commentator tonight, Noah Boudouris. Noah, the Carmel Greyhounds standing at 2-2, going up against the Lawrence North Wildcats, who have a 4-0 record. But the Lawrence North Wildcats have only played teams with a combined record of 2-14. So this is going to be their first real taste of hard competition.
Yeah, like you said, 2-12 out of their first 14 games. This Lawrence North team is not overly scary for this Hounds team. They're very calm, they're very cool, very collected, and wearing some very nice gray alt unis tonight. You'll love to see it.
Absolutely, and someone to highlight for the Wildcats tonight has to be the freshman running back, Xavier Moore. 617 yards in 4 games, 154 yards per game with really just immense. You have to give credit to the O-line.
For sure.
You can't go unnoticeable without that. That O-line has stand strong in the first 4 games, but he is just a freshman, standing at 5'7", and is top 150 in the nation for rushing yards per game. So he's going to be the key X factor tonight.
Yeah, definitely. As you were saying, a lot of great numbers being put up by this Wildcat team, but frankly, they haven't played anybody yet. Carmel's their best opponent so far, and Carmel's still yet to prove themselves, being very bipolar throughout the first 4 games, putting up and down numbers. So we'll see how these two forces kind of combine to really show their true colors tonight.
You're right. The Carmel Greyhounds have only played 1 in-state opponent with the Homestead Spartans, 3 out-of-state opponents ever since then. So the Greyhounds are getting really their second taste of someone in the state of Indiana, while on the other side, the Wildcats are looking to really put a punch into the Greyhounds tonight, put them back onto a losing record, and if the Greyhounds lose here, it's kind of an up and down season for them already. So you don't want to see, if you're a Greyhound fan, really to go down here, but the Greyhounds are looking to give really the Wildcats their first loss of the season.
Yeah, this is really the start of the unofficial conference. You know what I mean? Like, they've played faraway opponents. They've been to Detroit and Louisville and St. Louis, but finally it's going to be all Indy teams, and so they're really going to kind of see who the real competition is throughout the rest of this year.
And we saw them compete probably the best level of competition against Christian Brothers just 2 weeks ago, where while it was 28-55, we really saw the defense and offense come out and really show sparks of what this team can be in the future.
And those who watched that game really know that it felt way closer than the final score showed.
You're right. There was a lot of turnovers, and that's the other thing. The first 2 games of the season, 5 to 6, I believe it was 6 fumbles for the Greyhounds, and since then, ball control has been the main thing. Holding onto the ball for the running backs, we've seen a lot of changes throughout the entire season, but tonight, the main issue for the Greyhounds is having to be the safety position. No Dom Shockley, who has 2 interceptions on the season, and no Hunter Snow. So stepping into the position will be Dell Howard and Jerome Smith. It's going to be a big issue for those 2 guys to really hold down the back. What it feels like 20 yards is where they're going to have to set up and really rely on them to cover that area.
Yeah, that's really been the theme for this Hounds team all year, is that there's a lot of youth and a lot of unproven guys. And so this is really that big opportunity for the safeties to step up, those young guys to come in and to really show who they are and what they can contribute to this team.
And like I said, it's going to be a big game tonight as the captains just exited from the middle of the field. The Greyhounds are looking to really bounce back after a loss against Trinity.
And an embarrassing loss that.
It was 14 to, I believe, 42 was the final score. The Greyhounds have lost by 27 points twice this season. And really, those 2 big losses, you kind of see the players come out and compete towards the end. But we did see a highlight play from Anthony Colner, one of his best passing performances as well, where he passed for 107 yards. But 2 interceptions came with that. So he needs to really control. As a sophomore quarterback, you need to calm down in these situations.
Yeah, Colner's still got a lot of time to sort of get comfortable, figure out his presence on this team. But this Carmel defense has been all over the place throughout the first 4 weeks. Week 1, they gave up 7 points. Fantastic showing. Week 2, 55. Week 3, they gave up 0 points in the only shutout so far this year. And then week 4, they gave up 41 to Trinity. So they're really just going to need to figure out where they are and where they stand and where the rest of the season is going to go, if they're going to be a strongly offensive-minded team or a strong defensive-minded team, because neither one's working out so far.
And you highlighted the defense. Evan Sailors, who has only played 2 games this season, has a total of 18 tackles. 3 tackles for loss, so he's going to be a big guy in tonight's game as well. Losing a big man like Hunter Snow, though, for really that safety position, who averaged 10.5 tackles, that's going to be the big hit for the Greyhounds. But on the other side of the ball, the defense for Lawrence North has been stellar. Woodson, total of 52 tackles and 10 tackles for loss, averaging 13 tackles per game. He is the main guy to watch, and he's going to be the key factor. If the Greyhounds are able to avoid him on any chance that they can, they will.
Definitely a lot of unknowns still here for these 2 teams, so looking forward to seeing how they match up.
And then just a week ago, we kind of saw a lot of players get the chance to touch the ball. Carson Mace getting his first catch of the season while he's been a starter throughout the first 4 weeks. finally made an impact with a 9-yard reception, and we might be seeing more of him in tonight's game, but it's really what will Anthony Colner be able to do? 2 interceptions last week, but the Greyhounds are lining up to kick off and will get the ball to start the second half while the Wildcats are here to receive. 12 minutes on the clock, score 0-0 to start the game. Josh Plazchek out there to deliver the kickoff. Plazchek lines up, steps into it, and just like that, Week 5 is underway, and it's going to be a touchback. So Wildcats are coming out to start the first drive.
Yeah, that's a real strong leg over there. We're going to finally see this Carmel defense and see how they match up with this very strong Lawrence North offense. So, like we said, really going to be a pivotal week for the defense to see where they swing.
And the offense is really going to be led by Tanner Espelt, the junior, standing at 6'4", 5 passing touchdowns for him just a week ago. Great performance, over 300 yards passing. So if he's able to keep that up against a defense that has some weak links now, he might be able to torch them. It's going to be trips left for the Wildcats. More in the backfield. Asfelt calls over motion. Handoff once again. That's going to be Jackson. Jackson is going to be swallowed up by the Greyhounds defense, and it's going to be a tackle for loss.
Yeah, massive play to start the game right there. And you really got to think, if you're Lawrence North, you know Carmel's short on defense, especially in the cornerback position. Why not pass the ball? Why not use that pass game and attack there, because you know Carmel's weak there. So we'll see if maybe that was a wake-up call to get that OC change his mind a little bit.
And you really can't pass the ball towards one guy. We've brought him up all season, Christian Peterson, who's really been the MVP. And you and I were talking earlier, who can be the MVP other than him?
Right.
And he's been the guy who's shown up, as it's going to be Asphalt who's going to take it by himself, and he's going to pick up 6 yards, dragged down by Artie Bryant for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Artie Bryant's been that guy that's kind of that non-Christian Peterson MVP a lot. So making a big tackle right there, and we got our first third down of the game.
And just like that, 11 minutes left to go here. 3-6, Greyhounds putting the Wildcats in a tough situation. And just like that, the Wildcats need to find a chance to advance the ball here. Asphalt's going to drop back, look to his right, has a chance, and he stumbles on his own. Marsh is there to take him to the ground, and just like that, there's a flag on the field. And it's going to be holding against the Wildcats.
Yeah, well, this is definitely sort of that first slap in the face that you want for an offense that's really just had everything that they want throughout the first 4 weeks. If you can get a 3-and-out to start that game, this is really going to sort of wake them up and say, hey, this Carmel defense means business, and we got a whole ball game ahead of us.
And the Greyhounds are going to be dropping 2 now to receive the punt, Rogers and Peterson. And the Wildcats 4 and 10 to go. But there we did see a blocked punt.
We did.
Not that long ago against King. And a chance there, but it's going to be Peterson to receive it and he muffs it, but able to recover is Battelle. Battelle's going to get swallowed up at the 48, so the Greyhounds are going to start their first drive looking to pick something up after a 14-42 loss just to Trinity a week ago.
And this is something that we saw a lot in the King game, was that the Carmel as a team had very few amount of yards. That was because the defense did such a great job of pushing the other team so far back into their own territory that the field was so short. And that's really where Carmel's offense found their stride, was having only about half a field to play with instead of a full 100 yards.
Absolutely. Colner now in the backfield. Hands it off to Al-Fayed. Jukes right. Has an open field. And is going to be taken out at the 38. So he's going to be able to pick up the first down for the Greyhounds.
Setting the tone early here after that 3-and-out, getting that first down. Momentum's all shifting towards Carmel.
And Al-Fayed, being the leader rusher for the Greyhounds just a year ago as a junior, has only played in 2 games as he has been on IR. Same for Nate Rogers, and those 2 players coming back has made an immense impact for the Greyhounds already.
Yeah, big storyline so far has been the running backs and who's going to be it and who's going to step up. It's been Al-Fayed, it's been Johnson, so we'll see who really steps up tonight.
Corner takes the snap, and it's going to be a quick pitch to Rogers. Rogers is trying to find a seam, but is only going to be able to pick up 2. So a 2-and-8 to go now for the Greyhounds, already knocking on the door of the Wildcats.
Yeah, you're almost thinking you're starting to get into field goal range. Not quite there yet, but that's such a refreshing thing when your defense can step up and you're already practically in scoring position.
And we do know Josh Plauschek, the kicker for the Greyhounds, has a leg, has not missed once tonight.
That's a
knock
strong
on
leg.
wood. He might not miss all this season. The Greyhounds,
Oh, don't say that.
Well, we'll see. We will see.
We will see.
Corner in shotgun. Takes the snap. Play action. Has Pollard. Pollard's going to be taken down now. Past the 35. Down to the 33. Greyhounds are moving down slowly on this drive.
Yeah, Pollard's one of those guys that's really stepped up in a team that doesn't have too many super strong receivers. We're in that tight end position. He can be super versatile. He can receive. He can rush. He can block. He can do it all.
And now Tucker, the third down back for the Greyhounds, is going to come out. Takes Al-Fayed out of the game slightly. Let him catch his breath. Tucker, Johnson, and Al-Fayed are going to be the running backs tonight for the Greyhounds. To the left of corner is going to be Mace. And we have 3 set. Moves Rogers over to his left. Corner takes the snap, drops back, looks to his left, has a chance, has open field in front of him, gets a quick pass to Rogers, and he's going to pick up the first down for the Greyhounds down at the 26.
Yeah, Carmel just kind of marching as they please so far. Once again, they're not afraid of this 4-0 record because they know all they played is Avon. So really just taking as they please and already getting the scoring position.
All they played is Avon. You're throwing some shade at some Avon.
I am.
Slightly.
Avon's great at marching band, but not so great at football.
Oh, boy. We'll see. We'll see if Carmel can ever play them in the near future. Corner's going to take the snap and is going to get offsides.
You do not want to
like
flinch,
that.
Casey.
Tayshawn Woodson, he has been the key factor for the Wildcats. He just has some jitters. It's the beginning of the game. The Greyhounds are almost into the red zone. Ball's going to be advanced 5 yards, so the Greyhounds are really, we're talking about field goal range. They are well past field goal range now.
Yeah, it is a full stadium and it is a loud stadium tonight, so who blames him for jumping a little bit?
Corner back in shotgun. Hands it off to Tucker. Tucker has open field, finds a seam, and it's going to be taken down now at the 11-yard line.
Excellent blocking all around there. You can really see the holes open for Tucker, and he just had all the room to run that he wanted.
Absolutely. As Tucker is going to stay into the game, no Johnson and no Al-Fayed yet, as Tucker's making an impact already.
We have yet to see Johnson so far, but we guarantee he will be in and will be making an impact as he has so far this year.
He's more of that third down back throughout the season as well as Tucker, but sticking with Tucker in first and 10 at the 11. Corner takes the snap, handoff to Tucker, has field in front of him, but just like that, the Wildcats are able to swallow him up as Dell Howard is in the backfield.
Yeah, Tucker lost the ball a little bit, picked it up on his own, but that's been an issue a little bit already so far for Tucker, is holding on to the ball. So we see he comes out, Al-Fayed is back into the game.
And Howard, just like that, is going to have his third tackle for loss on the season. Loss of 2 yards for the Greyhounds, so that pushes them back to the 13-yard line. Corner needs to pick it up here. Just a sophomore quarterback and is already at the helm of the Greyhounds. And we're seeing Al-Fayed in. Rogers and Mace is to the left. Pollard is going to be motioned right. Corner takes the snap, drop back, has Bellin open, and a touchdown for the Greyhounds as Jake Bellin gets his second touchdown of the season.
Yeah, excellent all-around drive by Carmel. Throwing that first punch here in week 5, and you just love to see it where they can force the 3 and out and then come right back and score, saying we're not afraid of you, Lawrence North, and they're really striking first here.
Absolutely, and a quick slant route for Bellin, and Corner was able to place the ball on the money. It was perfect, and we just saw Bellin get his second catch. He's more of a deep threat. Second touchdown, excuse me. He's more of a deep threat kind of guy, but Plauschek is going to drill that one over the scoreboard. So a 7-0 lead for the Greyhounds, 7:42, and that's great momentum already for the Greyhounds after coming off a loss just a week ago.
Yeah, all year the highlights have all come from the defense for the most part, but that was one of the best drives I've seen from Carmel's offense this year. All around great, very few losses of yards, and just all around sound production of passing and rushing.
If they can start like that quickly, just like they did, they had 9 minutes. They had 11 minutes after the punt, and just like that, they took it down the field and got the first score of the game to give them a 7-0 lead at home. And this is the first time feel like the fans are really giving them the momentum that they need. There's a lot more fans here throughout the season, and it is USA night here for the Greyhounds, and we can see it tonight.
Yeah, definitely. This is sort of that first game that we've seen here at home where Carmel's really showing out. Besides, of course, that King game, but that whole game was a show for the Carmel offense. So 7-0 here, just under 8 to play in the first.
Check is going to line up, give a possible second drive. We could see a fumble here. You know, you and I have actually called some things.
We could.
You and I have called some things that have happened.
I have been known to predict the future.
Check lines up here. And it looks to be another touchback, but it's going to be at the 1. And the Greyhounds have a chance to swallow up. And just like that, they do. Greyhounds are going to be put into great field position as Jackson for the Wildcats was not really focused on where the ball was. It's going to be tackled down at the 9. So the Wildcats are pushed in their own territory, and the Greyhounds defense is looking to strike quickly.
Yeah, real lucky bounce here for Carmel special teams, and they pushed Lawrence North all the way back inside their own 10, so massive opportunity to keep the ball rolling and keep momentum in the Hounds' favor.
And we are going to be seeing 2 wide receivers in Davion Chandler and Robert Oldham. Robert Oldham is known to be a deep threat receiver. He's one of those guys who, if he can find a way to get past his corner, he's going to call for the ball, and he will make big plays. Longest play on the season is 67, as Moore now is going to take the handoff, bounces it outside, is going to be taken down quickly to only gain 1 yard for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that was a hard hit. So far, nothing from Lawrence North that's really worked, so we'll see what they do. Once again, we've mentioned that the Carmel cornerbacks are not cheap nowadays, so
you are completely right. We're seeing E. Battelle, who is a wide receiver to start the season, moved to cornerback in week 3. First game, though, he got an interception.
That he did.
And that was a surprise to you and me. I believe that you and I both kind of freaked out slightly. And quick pass, just like that, you're going to be seeing Robert Oldham pick up a quick yards at the 28 now. So the Wildcats are on the prowl.
Yeah, that's what we've been waiting for, is that Wildcat prowl to sort of pounce on that vulnerable Carmel defense, especially in the pass game.
Just like that, Drew Cannon is going to get the first tackle. You are going to be seeing more of Cannon in tonight's game, as well as Brandon Adams. 2 juniors are going to be holding down the back for the Greyhounds tonight with no Snow and no Shockley. That's play action pass now for Asphalt, and he's going to be tackled hard by the Greyhounds. That's going to be Jamie Winbush, as he's able to just throw down Asphalt quickly.
Yeah, Jimmy just hitting real hard, as he always does, and that can be sort of a tone setter for a quarterback, where if you want to run, you're going to get hit.
And that's going to advance the ball to the 31, so 2-2 to go. Score 7-0 here. 6:13 left to play just in the first quarter, and the Wildcats are showing that they are not a team to mess with. Aspelt looks to Moore in the backfield. Play action pass. Has Oldham, and just like that, Christian Peterson has the deflection to break up the pass.
Yeah, excellent coverage by Peterson as always. We sort of expect it from him at this point, but that can be a major way to step up and force that third down, which we love to see.
And we've seen a lot of passing already, and to be surprised, the Greyhounds are not known to pass the ball.
Right.
25 passing yards already on their first drive, to add with 19 rushing yards. And this defense has stepped up. This is the second third down for the Wildcats. If they're able to convert here, that would put the momentum back on their side. Asphalt gives it over to Moore. Moore finds a seam, is possibly able to pick up the first down, and it looks like he has. So the drive is going to continue now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he got just enough there, but this Wildcat rush game has really not been what they expect or what they want so far. So I'm expecting them to keep passing the ball and keep trying to push the momentum that way.
I could see that happening. You got to throw off the defense, though.
Right.
If you get some runs in there, maybe pull it away for some play action. We've seen that already from the Wildcats. And then you have your chance to really get it over the safeties and throw it downfield. But it's going to be trips left for Aspelt. Looks to his left. And just like that, quick pass under. And once again, you are going to be seeing Israel Jackson pick up I believe 9 yards. So not able to advance the chains yet, but it's going to be a 2-1 to go for the Wildcats.
Looks like he was pushed out a little earlier.
Oh, well, your eyes might be a little better than mine then. So it's going to be a
2nd and 3.
2nd and 3. Thank you for that, Noah.
Oh, of course.
Yep. But they are really able to pass the ball quickly. Asplet is able to get the ball out quickly, and that's going to be the difference maker tonight. If you're able to have a gunslinger and quick throw power on that, you're going to really throw off the defense and force them to guess. And it's going to be a handoff to Moore. Finds a seam, but it's going to be tripped up by Marsh, so is able to pick up the first down. And he's going to be down now at the 46-yard line, still in Wildcats territory.
Yeah, so far that's what we've seen is that the rush game can pick up a couple yards at a time. But for the most part, Lawrence North is getting most of their production from the arm of their quarterback. And so if Carmel can prevent that and plan on that, then they can force them to run, which they have not been producing great numbers on so far.
Absolutely, but Uchenyu Ajota is out there on the field. 2 sacks for him on the season.
And a block punt.
Block punt for a touchdown. So he is a difference maker. And just like that, he was almost able to read the play, but it's going to be Oldham with the reception. Swallowed up quickly by the Greyhounds defense. That's going to be Drew Cannon, who's credited with the tackle. More substitutions, as it looks to be Artie Bryan is coming off the field. Get him a little bit of a break. He's a big key factor for the Greyhounds tonight on defense.
We talked about how quickly the Hounds offense worked in their first drive, but so far Lawrence North has been really taking their time and sort of setting their own tempo with just over 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
It's going to be Chandler and Moore to the right. Asphalt's going to be chased down, but he's going to break away. Looks to pass it once again. That's going to be Moore. Moore finds a way, and he's going to be stick tackled once again by Drew Cannon. But this Wildcats defense, after going offense after going 4 and out, is able to advance the ball all the way now down to the 36 in Greyhound territory.
Yeah, this Wildcat pass game continues to be very strong. And I don't know if you could tell, he was wide open with about nobody in a 20-foot radius. So they can keep finding opportunities like that. It'll be a very close game.
Aspelt has Moore in the backfield. 2 to his right and 2 to his left. Gets the ball. Looks to his right. Pocket's going to break down. Steps up into it. And it's just going to slide now down at the 24. So using his arm and his legs, a dual threat quarterback standing at 6'4", and he is just a junior and is already making such a big difference, leading his team to a 4-0 record and a possible 5-0 tonight.
Yeah, Aspelt's shown that he can run so far. That's going to be a major difference maker for this Lawrence North offense if they can continue to use that aspect when the pass isn't necessarily wide open.
Aspelt now 2 running backs in the backfield. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. He gives it over to Moore. Moore's trying to find some space, but Bryan is there to get the tackle for loss as he's going to send the Wildcats backwards.
Flag is on the field.
My guess is it could be a holding call on the offense, and it looks to be, as we're waiting from the head referee to give the call up here. It's going to be holding on the offense. So they're going to be pushed back 10 yards from where they were. I believe they were at the 24, so they're going to be pushed now to the 34-yard line. So a strong already drive that they put together is going to be kind of pushed back slightly just by a holding call, but great play from Bryant, who's able to really wrap up Moore, he's a very shifty guy out there.
Yeah, so far we've seen that for this Carmel team, the ability to not get penalties and for whatever reason to draw a lot of penalties. And we've already seen that a couple times so far tonight, and that was really what kept him in that Christian Brothers game. So if this stroke of luck can continue to keep coming, be a major difference maker tonight.
And if you're a Wildcat, you're looking to possibly pass the ball here, you got to pick up 20 yards just for the first down. First down marker is at the 14. Asphalt looks to his left, has Oldham. And just like that, the Greyhounds are able to take him down quickly as Evan Sailors is the first one to get there, followed by Battelle. So only a pickup of a few yards, but now at the 29, as just like that, it's a 2 and 15 to go. 7-0 is the lead. Clock is just about to dip under 2 minutes left to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, if you're Asplet, you really got to be looking deep because there isn't a whole lot of opportunities on the screen pass, or you could run it. He's been doing that, and he's finding success there. But clock is starting to tick down here in the first quarter.
And it's going to be a handoff, he's going to keep it himself and pick it up with his legs. A few more yards added, taken down at the 26-yard line, so a few more yards to go. 3rd and 12, field goal position. Pretty much they're set on that if they want to take it. If they can't pick it up here, you're looking to possibly pass the ball or just pick up a few more yards for the field goal to make this game a little more competitive if you're a Wildcat fan.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of the difference makers. Do you go for the deep ball and risk this strong Carmel defense picking it up, or do you just take your yards and then kick your free three?
As it's going to be 2 wide receivers to the right and left, more in the backfield. Asphalt's looking, Bryant is there and is able to take him to the ground. Bryant is credited for the sack on that one. And just like that, the Wildcats are pushed to 4th down.
And we'll see if they still find this to be field goal territory because they might keep the offense out there and risk it just because of how, sort of borderline they are here. So massive play by Bryant, pushing them out of a freebie.
And it looks like the Wildcats are going to go for it. They might just possibly try and get the Greyhounds to jump off sides, but Bryant was double-teamed on that, and he was able to rip through 2 guys, but it's going to be a timeout called, I believe, by the Greyhounds. So they're going to get the first timeout. So 48 seconds left to go. And Noah, already this game is looking to be a defensive game from the Greyhounds once again.
Yeah, definitely. In that Carmel huddle right now, you got to be thinking you step back. You don't necessarily worry about the rush. You just got to prevent them from getting those 19 yards. It's a very easy task for this Carmel defense, and they've been stepping up to it all night and all season.
And Bryant really forced the 19 yards to happen with a 7-sack loss, as he was able to rip through 2 offensive linemen, get into the backfield, and throw down Aspelt quickly to really put the Wildcats in the position that they are in now. And Coach John Hebert, the coach for the Greyhounds, calls a timeout, just really does not want his guys to jump off sides. If he does, that might put the Wildcats in field goal position.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive moment in the game for either side. So if Lawrence North can somehow muster up 19 yards here, that's going to be a massive momentum shifter to keep them going and keep them in scoring position. If Carmel comes up here with a big stop, that keeps the ball rolling. They could be up by two scores at the end of the first quarter.
They could be, with 48 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. We're really looking for the defense to stand strong and not give up 19 yards for that first down. And you do not want to jump off sides, as it looks like the Greyhounds are dropping almost everyone into coverage, only rushing 3, Zale Day, Ajota, and Bryant. Aspelt calls it, and it's just going to be a punt by him. And that one's going to be, it looks to be, can't tell where they're going to place it. Down at the 1 is what it looks to be. So the Greyhounds are going to be put into some tough field position with only 41 seconds left to go. If you're in this situation, you're really looking just to run the ball here and try and pick it up with your running backs and try and open the field from there.
Yeah, that's a big-time play for for Lawrence North, where they sort of on the ropes or in the corner. Carmel's throwing a few punches, and suddenly Carmel's pushed all the way back to their own 1-yard line.
Absolutely, and when you're pushed to the 1-yard line, that doesn't open the playbook at all.
No.
If you are Hebert for the Greyhounds, you're really looking at the sheet that you have and what plays will help my team in this situation. You got some strong running backs. It looks like Johnson is into the game now. He's kind of that power back for the Greyhounds. If he's able to pick up any yards, you're possibly looking to bounce it outside, as Mace now is to the left. Extra tight end is into the game, and Johnson is just going to be able to bring it back to, I believe,
maybe got a yard there.
Maybe he got a yard or the line of scrimmage. I couldn't really tell, but he was swallowed up quickly.
Either way, it wasn't a safety, and that's okay.
You're right, and no safeties are good for either team. After safety, you have to punt the ball, and that's 2 points for the opposing team. As the Greyhounds might just let the clock run out here, and it's going to dip under just about 10 seconds left to play now in the first quarter, and we saw an amazing plays already from the Greyhounds. A quick 7-yard slant to Bellin, who was able to take it into the end zone. And since then, the Wildcats were put on their heels, almost moved the ball all the way down the field,
but the Greyhounds defense was able to step up. Bryant with a big sack to push the Wildcats out of field goal range. And since then, the Greyhounds are now put at their 2-yard line with a 2nd and 9 to go. Almost a safety after the first play, though.
Yeah, so we got that first quarter done with, and it's really, anxiety is really setting in all throughout this stadium. It is a close game. It is a 1-score game and a 7-point game. So really just setting the mood for the rest of this evening.
Setting the mood is what you want to do. You want the momentum on your side, though, before you go into every quarter. And we're already seeing Greyhounds playing at home, taking on a team that's 4-0. And they are showing why I feel like the Greyhounds record does not really project how well this team has played already throughout the season.
No, yes, strength of schedule so far, comparing these two teams, Lawrence North has played barely the quality of football that Carmel has had to face so far. So really a lot of possibilities because we have not seen enough from either of these two sides facing this sort of competition.
As the Greyhounds now flip field sides, so they are going to be taking it now onto the right side of the field, trying to march it all the way down to their own student section to try and get one into the end zone, starting at their own 2-yard line. 2nd and 9 left to go. 7-0 is the score entering the second quarter, as the Greyhounds are going to be looking to advance the ball downfield if they can quickly. Corner takes a snap. Possible run-pass option is just going to be taken down at the 4 now. So picks up just 2 more yards off of that. So a 2nd and 7 to go now, or excuse me, 3rd and 7 to go for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, this isn't one of those opportunities necessarily where you want to, lay on your belly and just punt it away and get it away from where you're at right now. But Carmel's really not showing a whole lot of life in this drive compared to what we've seen so far.
You are 100% right. I am looking down at the sideline, and there's going to be a new sideline mic for WHJE. Tegan Duke is going to be in control of that instead of Will Simmons tonight. So that's going to be stepping up the ranks quickly.
You love to see it.
You do, just a junior. Corner's going to take the quick pass and just sends that one. No grounding is called. I could not see
it was deflected by a Lawrence North lineman.
Thank you.
Cannot tell which one, but it was one of them.
But the punt team and Josh Plazchek is going to come out now and send this one away. Now, if you're backed up at your own 5-yard line, you really need this one to be sent.
Yeah.
Probably past the 50.
And Plazchek's got the leg for it.
Plazchek is, I believe, a 4.5-star kicker. And
that extra half star really makes a difference.
It actually does.
It does.
But the Greyhounds special teams is trained completely well, and just like that, he's going to send that one over the head. And like I said, past the 50, and it's going to be a fair catch signaled at the 48 in Wildcat territory. So the Wildcats are going to take the field now for their 3rd drive. Have not been able to pick up any offense after their first drive. Their second drive, completely kind of a script change is how I would put it.
Definitely.
They were able to pick up as much offense as needed, but their offense was really hit hard by the brick wall of Artie Bryant, who got into the backfield and got a 7-yard loss sack. And since then, the defense for the Wildcats stepped up and really forced the Greyhounds just up in there. So second quarter start, 11-7, 11 minutes and 7 seconds left to go here. 7-0 is the score, and the Wildcats trot out to take their 3rd drive.
Yeah, I've been saying it all night so far. This Wildcat team finds their strength in their pass game. They haven't found a whole lot so far in rushing, a little bit through some QB scrambling, but that's where they're going to find their production tonight.
Aspel takes the snap, looks to the right, scrambles out of the pocket as it collapses, and the ball's out! Artie Bryant forces a fumble, and just like that, the defense for the Greyhounds is able to recover it, and they are going to be picked up some great field position to take their next drive.
Yeah, 15th turnover of the year for this Carmel defense. You love to see it. And Carmel once again has excellent field position, as we've talked about before, where this is where this offense has strived, where they have a shortened field and so much less yardage to cover just to get those 7 points.
And 15 forced turnovers, almost 3 per game, with their first already tonight, as they're going to pick up where they almost left off at the 38-yard line. Corner with Al-Fayed in the backfield. Mace to his left. Takes the snap. Quick handoff to Al-Fayed. tries to find any open space, but he's going to be really thrown down to the ground quickly as once again the Wildcats are able to do almost anything on defense.
Yeah, Alfayed really just ran into a wall there, looked a little bit silly, but we know he's capable of bigger and better things, so they're going to keep him out there and maybe give it to him again. We'll see.
You know, if he likes to bounce it out to the right.
He does.
He does. Anytime he's in the game, they like to make sure he tries to get to the right side of the field, and that's more of you're on the weak side if you bounce it to the right here. Strong side is more to your left because you have more space.
Right.
So Alfayed still in the game, corner and shotgun. Takes the snap with one hand. Quick pass over to Rogers, and Rogers is able to pick up the first down for the Greyhounds. Almost past midfield, so right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, this is what we've seen all this season is Colner getting comfortable. That's when this Carmel offense really starts to take away, is when Colner can get comfy, he can find his footing in the pocket, and he can make completions. When he's scrambling, when he's taking sacks, and when he's not getting his passes off, that's when this team has really crumbled. So great to see a little short pass for a first down by Colner.
And we did not see that much throughout the first few games, as it's going to be Alfayed just pushing his way through to pick up 3 there. So it's going to be a 2nd and 7 to go for the Greyhounds after the Alfayed run.
Yeah, already in Wildcat territory, so sort of knocking on that door of another score here early in the second quarter.
And we are going to continue to see Tayshawn Woodson, just the senior linebacker, who's able to get almost every tackle. He's flying. He's more of a ball hawk. Anytime someone touches the ball, he's going to try and seek it out quickly, or even through the air. We've seen him really in the zone defense kind of hold down his zone and not allow the ball to even be thrown near him. Rogers in motion. Corner's going to keep it. Goes to his right and is going to be hit stick tackled once again by Lunsford, as it may be a gain of 1 or 2 for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, not exactly how they expected that to turn out, but some positive yardage, and it sort of keeps it going and keeps the ball in Lawrence North territory.
And if you're a Greyhound out on the field, you may be looking to pass here. 3rd and 6 to go.
Why not?
At the 46 in your opponent's territory.
But not quite field goal territory.
But not, well, I would do the math there for me. That's over 60 yards.
That's a 63-yarder right there, I believe.
And I mean, Blanchek,
I like him, but maybe not that much.
Pollard's going to be motioned right. Corner's going to take the snap, drop back. Wildcats rush 5. Corner tries to find anyone open, just throws that as kind of a prayer, and no one was open. So this is going to be the second 4th down that the Greyhounds are going to be facing now, as the punt team comes out with Blanchek.
Yeah, Pollard receiving as a tight end this time. I thought he had a little opening, but Colner obviously didn't see what I saw, or I didn't see what he saw. I trust him more than I trust myself. So 4th down now for the Hounds.
I mean, Colner was being chased down quickly by the Wildcats. He did not want to take any sack there and push Blanchek to where he is. He might be able to pin this down at the 1. High punt there. Taken at the 2. And the Wildcats are going to start another drive at their own 12-yard line. Penalty on the play, though. I believe it might be a holding call.
Yeah, it looks like if I had to guess, it's going to be holding on Lawrence North.
That would be the 3rd holding call all game, though. So not many flags other than holding, which is kind of surprising to see. I mean, we have not seen that many face mask calls throughout the entire season, Noah.
We have not.
And
you don't see a whole lot in this level of play anyway.
You don't, because, when you're in high school, the coaches drill you on how to tackle.
Yep.
I remember back in my days of playing a little bit of collegiate. I wouldn't put it that way, but, a little bit of football, a little bit of hawk tackle. Use your shoulder to kind of get into you can't tackle high. They always say tackle low. Right. Tackle at the legs and wrap up. Because no one's able, once you buckle their knees, they're not really able to move.
I mentioned this before. I played 1 season of flag football. I was the center for my team. One time we played this team that had a nose tackle that just put his hands in my face every single play, and I could not stand it.
You hit him away or no?
I did my best, but.
But it looks like, I believe it was actually on the Wildcats. So a 4th and 1 for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, so that holding penalty did bring the Hounds up 5 yards.
It's going to be a fullback dive for Pollard. And his O-line and the quarterback are trying to push him, but he's not going to be able to pick it up. So the Wildcats are able to make a stand against the Greyhounds and pick up at the 41-yard line for their offense.
Yeah, that's really been where Pollard has stepped up so far all this year, is in that short range and 4th down territory, but tonight he could not step up. So 1st down for Lawrence North, and it's sort of a disappointing end to a drive for Carmel after getting that penalty.
And the defense is going to trot back out on the field. 2 safeties, 2 brand new safeties are going to be out there for the defense for the Greyhounds. And that's the issue tonight. So far, we have not seen them mess up at much. We've seen Drew Cannon really step up and make a bunch of tackles. We have not seen much of Brandon Adams, though, replacing Dominic Shockley, who had 2 interceptions on the season and is not going to be playing much throughout the season, having a lower back injury. Hunter Snow has really just injured a little bit in his left leg, so both of those players are going to be out. But these 2 juniors are really holding down the back fort. Asphalt's going to take it, has the quick pass, and just like that, the Wildcats are able to pick up a few more yards, and that's going to be Israel Jackson credited with the catch.
There is a flag on the field, so we'll see if maybe that'll bring him back a little bit.
It looks to be another holding call on the Wildcats, so they're going to be pushed back 10 yards from the 41, so they're going to be at the 31.
Yeah, when a quarterback has that much time and that much space, you got to expect some holding.
You do, and it looks to be the Zone 8 Weather Channel has come out with Who Wants the Banner, so the student section is going to be cheering louder than any time that they have all year.
Casey, do you want the banner?
I do want the banner.
I want the banner as well.
As, you know, CHTV, WHE, I think anyone at Carmel High School wants the banner.
We all want the banner. And the student section wants the banner. And these guys in the field, they want the banner.
Oh, you can see Zale Day is trying to hype up the crowd too slightly. The nose tackle for the Greyhounds, number 55. Big guy out there on the field. If I was a running back, I would be scared to even run up the middle.
I'm scared sitting in the booth.
Asphalt has 3 to his left, hands it off to Moore. Moore's going to run it up, has open field, has a chance at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, and might be a touchdown. Christian Peterson may have stopped him. Waiting for the call from... And...
referee signaling touchdown.
I believe it is a touchdown for the Wildcats. As just like that, Xavion Moore, who is a top 150 running back for yards in the nation, broke away for a 60-plus yard touchdown.
Yeah, well, this student section gets hype. This is the loudest we've heard them all year, and Lawrence North, I guess, takes that. They take the away crowd motivation and sort of pump that up, as looks like they're going for 2.
Going for 2 here. And it's going to be a keeper, and they got it, as the Wildcats are going to be taking a lead. 7-8, 7-16 left to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier in this possession that we're about halfway through the second quarter, and Carmel's defense has been showing up way more than we expected, but that drive was sort of a punch in the face.
It was, and they are showing off why, while their schedule might have not been the toughest, they are still a team that you should circle anytime you see them on their schedule.
Right.
So far, 4-0 team looking to become 5-0 tonight. The Greyhounds standing at 2-2 with their 2 losses being out-of-state opponents, winning over one of their rivals in King and the Homestead Spartans. While on the other side, 4-0 for the Wildcats. This team seems unstoppable already, as just their freshman running back in Xavion Moore has what I believe 76 yards on the ground already, 30 for their quarterback, and he's basically halfway to what he averages.
Okay, so you can calm down a little bit because it's still a 1-point game, and Carmel's about to get the ball back. So we will see where they can sort of take the momentum and sort of push it back in their direction with so much time left and such a close game. We got a nail-biter here, and everybody in Carmel Stadium feels it.
And this could be a nail-biter, but the Greyhounds have been put in nail-biter situations before this season already. We saw just their first week, their first game against the Homestead Spartans, 7-7 until Christian Peterson, the cornerback, stepped up and jumped a 5-yard out route to really return it to the house and give the Greyhounds the lead for the game.
Yeah, that was sort of the big play of the game, and that's what we've seen a lot of for this Carmel team is big plays and big moments. And so we can sort of expect that, or at least hope for it tonight, that if it comes down to that close game late here tonight, that we will see somebody step up big, maybe even Christian Peterson again.
You're right, and Christian Peterson has been the key factor for the defense as he is the IU commit. And we saw him really perform well against maybe the strongest team that the Greyhounds will play all year, and the Christian Brothers Cadets against Jeremiah McKillen, who is a Big Ten player as well in Ohio State. And just like that, Peterson takes it at the 21, tries to find open space, and flags are thrown everywhere on the field as he's going to be taken down at the 42.
Yeah, sort of a weak kick there, and so Peterson's able to capitalize and bring it almost to the 50-yard line. So he's about at the eye of the Greyhound on the field.
And my guess is it might be another holding penalty here.
With that much yardage, you got to sort of expect it to be on the receiving team.
And we're waiting from the call from the head referee. This might be the most hyped the student section has been all year. You know.
And there's some holding on Carmel.
Push back now to, I believe, the 28-yard line. So the Greyhounds are going to pick up from their own 28. 7:10 left to play, a one-point game, like you mentioned. The Wildcats were able to pick up the two-point conversion, and this is where Anthony Koner, just a sophomore quarterback, needs to really take this into consideration, as this is probably the drive of the game. It's going to be a quick pitch to Rogers. Rogers is going to be taken down for a loss of 2, so the Greyhounds are going to be pushed back here and faced with a 2 and 12.
Yeah, that's what we do not want to see this Carmel offense do, is try to get crafty, try to get creative, because you really don't, you might not need to against this Wildcat defense. We haven't seen a whole lot from them so far. Their strength has been in their special teams and in their offense. So sort of run it up the mouth of this Wildcat team and see how they can handle it instead of trying to get creative here.
Johnson is in the backfield for the Greyhounds. Corner takes the snap, hands it up to Johnson. He has open field up in front of him, and he's going to be taken down now with another penalty flag. My guess is a possible holding call once again.
Stay positive, Casey.
I would say that might be the 7th holding call, if it is. It looks to
There
be
it
holding
is.
on the Greyhounds once again. So that 3rd and 2 opportunity is going to be erased, and the Greyhounds are going to be looking at a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, you got to pass here. And we haven't seen a whole lot of Koner let his arm do what it does so far tonight, but looks like 3rd and 14, and we want to see it. We want to see him air it out.
You do, as a fan, you want to see how strong of an arm does Koner have, with only his best game being last week with 107 yards passing, but 2 interceptions. But his completion percentage is something to look at, over 68%. Koner's just going to have a handoff to Johnson, and he's going to try and break away. But once again, that's going to be Dante Dardner, who's going to be there to have the first tackle for him of the game, and that's going to be 4th down now for the Greyhounds.
That'll bring up 3rd down and
3rd
9.
down.
The penalty did replay 2nd down. I missed that.
I missed that as well.
And I think the scoreboard missed that as well.
You know, I think we're all just kind of missing a few things tonight.
I think we just took a mental break for a moment and missed it. Forgot how to football.
We did. We might have, but it's going to be 3rd and 9 here. That might have been why they were in the ball.
They might have.
But Al-Fayed is going to be in the backfield. 2 to the right to Koner. And Mace to the left. Corner's going to switch up the play, but it's going to be another flag on the Greyhounds. They're going to be pushed
Delay
back 5
game.
yards. So 3 and 9. Going to be pushed back to a 3 and 14.
Yep.
They were just here moments ago.
They were.
Now you really need to air it out.
Right.
Or you run it and you can't risk the arm.
Or you air it out and try to have some fun here. That
brings some excitement, right?
Exactly. These Hounds fans, they want something to cheer for. It's been a little bit, so we'll see what they do here with 3rd and long.
Corner looks to his right, goes for Mace, but it's going to be a jump on, an interception by the Wildcats. Just like that, Lunsford is going to get the interception. So another interception thrown, and just misery for the Greyhounds. 7-8 is the lead for the Wildcats, and this is their offense to really bounce back and continue to extend their last drive.
Yeah, usually you call those a 50-50 ball, where it could come up to either side, but in that case, there were two Carmel receivers trying to catch that compared to the one Lawrence North Lunsford, and somehow he came up with it. So, beats me.
It does. You had Pollard, who's standing at 6'4", and Nate Rogers, who's standing just at 5'7". Those two guys were fighting for the ball, but somehow Lunsford for the Wildcats was able to pull it down and pick up just a few more yards and advance it to the 44 in Wildcat territory. Aspelt is going to have the ball now. Quick handoff, keep it himself, sends it over to the left. And just like that, this offense is already on the roll as you're seeing Damian Moore pick up just a few yards, gets the first down. So the ball is going to be advanced past the 50 to the 43 now. So 1st and 10. Clock is going to dip under 5 minutes here to play for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing so far for this Lawrence North team is they're getting comfy. This offense is getting real comfortable here in Carmel, and so they're going to keep marching. They're going to keep doing what they're doing because so far Carmel doesn't have a stop for this current offensive scheme.
Aspelt looks to run the same play, keeps it, looks to his left, sends it down the field once again to Jackson, but over him as the Greyhounds defense really sigh of relief on that one.
Yeah, he was wide open there. Jackson he was looking for a flag afterwards, but did not get one, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
And this defense is faced with another challenge. They do not want to really put their offense in a situation where they cannot really get out of the hole that is already dug for them.
Right.
So this defense needs to step up what they have all season long, forcing 15 turnovers. And we saw a forced fumble, but the Wildcats are going to go in a quick formation. It's going to be a different quarterback, and it's going to be a quick throw over to Moore. And just like that, it's another first down gain, so the Wildcats have not been pushed back once yet.
Yeah, it seems every time that the Wildcats try to set back and pass, every single time that Asplet is trying to pass the ball, they have somebody wide open. And there hasn't been a whole lot of great coverage for this Carmel team. We know that there's some holes in the defense, but they have not been stepping up and not been filling those holes as we would expect them to.
And it looks like Montez Jones, the backup quarterback, has stepped up into this game for the Wildcats. He just threw that last pass.
And we are moving the chains way up.
Looks to be at the 15-yard line for the Wildcats. And Aspelt is going to, I believe, possibly come back. No, Montez Jones is going to stay into the game. Could not tell what happened to Aspelt. Jones is going to take the helm now.
And Jones already showing that he's a serviceable quarterback, even more so than that with Asplet being out.
Takes the snap, gives it off to Moore. And just like that, the Greyhounds are able to corral him at the 6-yard line.
If you're the Carmel defense, a win here is just forcing the field goal. Get your offense back on the field with just a little bit of time left in the half and sort of recoup and get ready for the second half with just as tight of a scoreboard as you can get.
You're right. With a 2nd and 1 to go at the 6-yard line, you are knocking on the red zone, and you're really looking to put another punch here into the Greyhounds.
And punch they continue to do as they're set for this 2nd and short.
Jones has Moore in the backfield, hands it off to him, finds a seam, and he's going to be dragged down quickly at the 5-yard line, so he's going to be able.
Looks like he's just short.
Just short, so it's pretty much 3rd and inches here. 4 minutes left to play, score 7-8 as the Wildcats did pick up the 2-point conversion to give them that 1-point lead.
And this can be sort of that internal battle in the minds of these coaches and players for Lawrence North because you have a 3rd and short, and so your mind tells you to go for the run play, push it in, but this Carmel defense, that's the only place they've been able to step up. That's the only answer they've had is hoping that the Wildcats run it. So we'll see what they go with here.
As Jones is still the quarterback in with Moore behind him. Hands it off to Moore as he's going to try and push forward, but once again is going to be stopped. And that is great defense once again from Will Engel, who is able to throw him down to the ground. But it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, he got pushed just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah.
But
hey, they look good doing it.
You know, that's kind of you put that in your highlight reel.
Right, exactly. Like this will go
in the Will Ingle mixtape.
It will.
Jones has 3 to his right. Moore's in the backfield. Toss to Moore. Tries to get outside with the speed, and he's going to be tackled quickly. First one to get there is Sailors, followed by Adams.
It's Adams in 2nd and goal now for the Wildcats. Just trying to pick up those 5 yards that they need, but Carmel's defense has thrived in this situation in short yardage and a very tiny field, so we'll see what they can do.
And you can already tell the difference in yards, 116 rushing yards for the Wildcats to the 43 for the Greyhounds. Greyhounds are not much of a big yard team.
Well, you know, so far the Hounds haven't had the ball for that much time in general. The Wildcats have really just been taking as much of the clock as they can.
And Jones is going to keep it. Tries to get up any yards if he can, but the Greyhounds are there to send him to the ground. So maybe just a 1-yard pickup, but that's going to be 3rd down now.
Yeah, this is going to be the biggest moment of the half right now. 3rd down. We'll see what both teams kind of muster up, but big opportunity for Lawrence North to either score and, push the lead to more than a touchdown and an extra point, or Carmel can step up, force the field goal, keep it close, and maybe even rush down the field and run a 2-minute drill.
And it's a timeout called by the Wildcats, so both teams are going to come together. 3rd and 5 to go for the Wildcats to possibly extend their lead, a few more points. But for the Greyhounds, you're really looking for your defense to come together and stop anything that could possibly happen. But if you are on the Wildcats side, you're really looking for possibly a Xavier Moore, who we've seen his speed no one on the Greyhounds team can match.
Absolutely not, and that's been sort of the power for power, is this Lawrence North speed versus this Carmel defense. And so who's going to come out when these two ram horns sort of collide?
You're right, but 1:53 left to play as the Wildcats are looking to possibly give them an uppercut to the Greyhounds here and really push their lead forward to what it already has been with a 1-point lead, 7-8, as both teams are coming out. And the Greyhounds do receive the kick, so you could possibly,
that is refreshing,
at the second half. Yes, so you could possibly let them score, try and put together a few plays, get in field goal position, knowing that you received the ball. So it could be something a little confusing there.
Big 3rd down now here for the Carmel defense.
3rd and 5 for the Wildcats. Jones in at quarterback. Takes the snap over to Moore. Moore tries to find any space, spins off, and is going to be swallowed up by the Greyhounds down at the 2-yard line. This is 4th down territory. You have to go for it.
Yeah, he got way more yards than anybody expected after that first contact, but he's able to spin out, get a few pushes from his linemen, and really make it interesting as they're going to put him down at the 1-yard line. At the end of the night, this could be the game. We could look back, and this could be the game.
And it's going to be 4th and 1. If the Wildcats do not pick it up here, the Greyhounds are looking to really stand still. This is where you put up all your big guys and really hope that they can stop the run. And it's going to be a toss play to Moore. And just like that, the Greyhounds are able to stop him. Brandon Adams, the first one to get him in the backfield.
That's big time. Turnover 16 for the Greyhounds this year, and this is where the defense can step up and make big plays and keep the momentum going. And we'll see what the Carmel offense can do with just a minute left.
And with just 1:05 left to play, it really looks like the Greyhounds need to put something together here as they are down by 1. Down at their own 2-yard line, so a tackle for loss by Brandon Adams, who stepped in for this game with the injury to Dom Shockley.
Well, last time Carmel was in this position, they could not get anything going, so we'll see what they can sort of change up and figure out in this second opportunity.
Hand off to Al-Fayed, who looks to be really just at the line of scrimmage, but a flag is going to be thrown out. Another flag. Noah, this is concerning.
It's been a slow game with a lot of penalties. You know, I just noticed, just in my own talking, I've said we'll see a lot tonight, and that's sort of been the theme, is that a lot of mystery for both sides, and so we have no idea what to expect with a lot of injuries on the field and a lot of uncertainties, as looks like the penalty is going to push Carmel up the field a little bit.
You know, that could have been a possible face mask. I could not tell what it is.
Neither could I. But either way, it is some positive yardage for these Hounds.
So they're on. .53 seconds left to play here for the Greyhounds as the clock is dipping.
Yeah, and you got to expect, with the Hounds getting the ball in the second half, they're not going to force too much here. They're going to take their time and hopefully just keep the ball out of Lawrence North's hands for the rest of this half.
Al-Fayed in the backfield. Corner takes a snap over to Al-Fayed. Finds a seam up the middle, but it's going to be taken down at the 13-yard line.
He is close. I think looks like he got a first down there. And you love to see him moving the chains with just under 30 seconds left in the half.
What I can say, though, is the student section for Lawrence North, that might be the most filled, like, away side stands that we've seen all season.
This is the first relatively local team that we've welcomed into this Carmel Stadium. But, you know, I was up here probably 20 minutes before the game started, and there was one lonely fan sitting in Lawrence North's side. And so it's refreshing to see it sort of fill up a little bit. As the clock expires and ends the first half, Carmel's down a point, but they will receive the ball, and a lot of momentum's coming their way. So, very exciting first half. Casey, how do you feel?
This game is one to watch. It's a nail-biter already. A 4-0 team taking on a 2-2 team. The Wildcats standing at that 4-0 record going up against the Greyhounds 2-2. Back and forth already as it feels like both teams are on really the edge of a cliff.
Right.
You're waiting for one team to fall off, and so far the Greyhounds are standing strong against the Wildcats and defending their home turf with only giving up that 1-point lead.
Yeah, been I'd say a very suspenseful game so far. There's been a lot of build-up and not a whole lot of payouts so far. And so, you know, those are exciting to watch. You like those sort of games where there's quiet highlights, you know what I mean? Where there's small moments that shift quickly, but the scoreboard doesn't necessarily show it, or the stat books don't necessarily show it, but they're still very exciting to watch and very, very fun. I'm having fun.
I would say the two main things that have happened this game was the fumble by Asphalt.
Right.
That was recovered from the Greyhounds, and the 63-yard touchdown run by Xavion Moore, which I think was a little anticlimactic. We were talking about Zale Day, the big guy, the nose tackle, and the Wildcats just ran it right up the middle.
We were talking about how much we want the banner, and then Wildcats just
2-point conversion to give them the lead. So,
which, you know, that's been pretty much all the Wildcat offense has had so far tonight. Besides that, they've had a lot of 3-and-out and a lot of forced punts. So if Carmel can just keep the big play from continuing to happen, it'll be an easy night for the defense.
But on the other side, the Greyhounds have not really been able to put anything together after their first drive.
No.
Since then, they've been faced with an interception thrown and really just miscues. You don't have the arm with Coyer yet. You just have to train them up to really make the right decision. And in my opinion, just run a few drag routes over the middle to where if you can get the linebackers to open the field up, have some guys run some corner routes, Coyer should be able to place it in the hands of the playmakers, and they need to pick up the yards quickly.
Yeah, for whatever reason, we've seen Coyer be a very quiet first-half quarterback. But as soon as that halftime hits, he gets some time to rest in the locker room. He figures it out. He gets comfy. He even runs a little bit. So that'll be all from us. We will send it down to the field and see you back up here for the second half.
Hello and welcome back to the Carmel Football Stadium. I'm Dashaun Barnes. Joined with me is Joshua Melby. We are right in front of the field where we just had an action-packed, dramatic, but low-scoring first half. Lawrence North is leading the Greyhounds 8-7. Josh, tell us what the Greyhounds did good in this first half.
So the Greyhounds have done an amazing job, Dashaun, keeping LN from getting too many points this half, holding them to 8. That is the least points the Wildcats have scored in a single half so far this season. Dashaun, I think they've done an amazing job of that, limiting the skill positions, like we said. I will say some of those stops were getting a little close to the goal line. We saw especially at the end of the first half right here, the Wildcats got all the way down to the Greyhounds' 2-yard line. We did come up big, though, and I think the defense has done a great job of that. I do want to see the defense improve upon, even more so, limiting the skill positions. The Wildcats were able to get 122 yards on the ground that half, which is not what the Greyhounds defense needed. However, they were lucky to only give up 8 points. Now, offensively, the Greyhounds are going to need to score a lot more than 7 points. One touchdown won't do it, especially when that was in the first quarter. It was super early into the game. It was looking good for the Greyhounds. Things are definitely looking up, and we went up 7-0, and we got cold. So I want the Greyhounds to heat up offensively and defensively, just really lock in here for the second half.
Very, very true. The same thing happened against the Christian Brothers Cadets. The Carmel Greyhounds went up 7-0 after a big touchdown from E, and after that it was sort of a landslide down. But now I want to talk about what Lawrence North has done very well so far. And just as you said, they have one touchdown, and that was because of a big rushing play from Xavier Moore. He's known for those great running plays. He's averaging 145 yards per game, and he may keep this up considering that big run he had. I will say, though, they do need to capitalize in the end zone. Like you said, they were just within 2 yards of our end zone, and we were able to get that stop. Great things for the Greyhounds. Do you have anything else to talk about?
The Greyhounds will be receiving the ball at the first half. Let's see if the offense can get hot right here, Dashaun.
Yep, I think it's going to be a very good game. But with that, I believe that wraps up our halftime show. Let's send it back up to the host.
Hello and welcome back into the booth. The Greyhounds are here to receive the second half kickoff. Halftime just about to warm up as the players are down on the field. And Noah, we were looking at the stats. 100 total more yards for the Wildcats compared to the Greyhounds. 83 total for the Greyhounds, 188 in total for the Wildcats. That might be just the difference maker in tonight's game.
Yeah, that's right. Shana Tova, and welcome back to the second half. We were just moments away from kickoff, and it's been a real close game so far. But as you said, looking at the scoreboard on the right side of us, the stats really favor the Wildcats so far. They're putting up a whole lot of more yardage, but only one more point. So this Carmel defense, as we've said before, has made big stops and has made a short field for the offense. So hopefully they can continue to do that and make it a fun night for these Carmel fans.
And it is a little windy, so teams might be relying more on the run game. Going into the second half, the Greyhounds are here to receive. 7-8 is the score, as throughout the first drive for the Greyhounds, really it looked like it could have been a blowout after that. But after that, the defense for the Wildcats stepped up. And once they were able to score, they went for the 2-point conversion and got it.
Yes, both teams sort of stretch out, get rehabilitated for this second half. Like you said, a lot of exciting things to watch. So keep it here on CHTV. We talked about I've been known to predict the future. This might be one of those chances where I got to predict the future here. So expect some excitement here on this opening kickoff in the second half.
I'm expecting it out of you. But here we are. Second half almost underway. 12 minutes up on the clock. 7-8 is your score. And really, Noah, this is where the game gets interesting. Nail biter throughout the entire game already. And if the Greyhounds cannot score here, this is where it can get really difficult for them to do anything. As Dr. Ferris, the principal here for the Greyhounds, is warming up the student section with his amazing
Star-Spangled Pants.
I was talking to him earlier, and I was like, Mr. Ferris. You know, these...
Mr. Dr. Ferris.
Mr. Dr. Ferris, of course, yes. I was like, I like the pants. And he's like, you know, I had to bring something out nice for tonight. And I was like, you know,
he always shows
nice.
up. He always performs when it comes to repping the theme. As we see him in those dashing Star-Spangled Pants as a squib kick up the middle.
And the Greyhounds are just going to fall down
Pollard
on it.
just falls down on it.
So the Greyhounds are going to take the ball at the 35. And the last time they had their first drive, they were able to pick something up. So this is the first drive of the second half.
That it is. Yeah, the Greyhounds kind of caught that breather. They recouped. They figured some things out. So expect some great things. And a squib kick is a great thing to happen on a kickoff. I'm not sure what Lawrence North was thinking, if they were thinking more of an onside kick, but there was no rhyme or reason to that for me personally.
So taking it at the 36-yard line, Colner takes a snap, handoff over to Al-Fayed. Al-Fayed has a seam up the middle, spin move, and is almost taken down near the midfield stripe.
Yeah, that spin move is lethal from Al-Fayed. That made two different guys miss in 1 second. So massive first play for this Carmel offense as they pick up the first down.
Going to be at the 49 in their own territory, and really, they come out like guns a-blazing at the beginning of any half. We saw the first drive in the first half. Touchdown was the result. Since then, it was punts after punt after punt, but already the spark from Al-Fayed giving the Greyhounds the momentum to bounce back after being down by 1. And it looks to be a possible false start on the Greyhounds. I believe that's the big right tackle, Sam Brewington.
Yeah, he's just a little bit too excited, but, you know, we appreciate that from him. We appreciate some excitement, and so does this Hounds faithful that has recharged here for the second half.
As the Greyhounds are just going to be pushed back 5 yards, so they're going to have the ball at the 44. 1st and 15 to go. Corner takes the snap. Handoff over to Al-Fayed. Shakes off the first tackle, but is going to be taken down once again. As it's going to be, I believe he may have only made it to the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, that was a disappointing attempt there by Carmel, and especially after that first big play, that gain for a first down, they've sort of calmed down, and this Wildcat defense has stepped up and figured out this Carmel run game so far. So hope to see some passing by Colner here with the 2nd and long.
You are hoping to see passing if there can be any in tonight's game from the Greyhounds offense. And it looks to be a bunch set. Corner's going to send Pollard to the right. Mason Rogers to his left. Al-Fayed in the backfield. Corner takes a snap. Fakes it over to Al-Fayed. Has his wheels with his legs and tries to go upfield. And is just going to get a short gain there as he pushes up the offense a few more yards.
Yeah, it looks like he got 2 yards there, but once again, nothing on the pass game and frankly disappointing on the run game. So 3rd and long. I'm excited to see what happens, but not a whole lot. Guns a-blazing for this Hounds team starting out early in the 3rd quarter.
Guns a-blazing. Tucker is in the backfield now for the Greyhounds. Rogers and Mace to the left. Pollard is out there in his tight end position to the right.
Look for Rogers to make a big play here in his limited time so
takes
far.
The snap. Wildcats rush 4, and Bellin is going to get the quick pickup of, I believe, 7 yards there.
Yeah, Bellin had that touchdown earlier, and he picks up just a little bit, gets into Wildcat territory, but very short of the first down. It looks like the punt team is coming out.
4th and 5 now for the Greyhounds. Punt team is coming out. So a great run to start off the drive, and then after that it was really downhill for the offense. Wozniak is going to line up with the punt. To receive is Jackson. Wozniak with a booming punt. Fair catch. Signaled for. And this gets a Greyhound bounce down to the 10 as the Wildcats are faced with a possible 90-yard drive that they got to put together to put one into the end zone.
Well, first defensive opportunity here for Carmel in the second half, and an excellent place to start at the Lawrence North 10. So we'll see if they can keep the momentum in Carmel's favor and sort of get some great field possession, because that's what's been favoring the Carmel offense so far this game and this year.
And just looking at the offensive line put together for the Wildcats, left tackle standing at 6'2", left guard 5'8". Big drop
Really?
off. The center standing at 5'7". And the right guard standing at 6'1", and the right tackle standing at 6'2". So not the tallest guys, but these guys are big guys. And they've been holding strong, only allowing 2 sacks in tonight's game just in the first half.
Yeah, well, those are the sort of stats that you don't see in the scorebook, but they definitely show up on the scoreboard with such a impactful amount of rushing.
Tanner Asphalt's going downfield, and an interception dropped by the Greyhounds. That could have been a big game changer there if Drew Cannon was able to hold on to that one.
Yeah, we talked about Cannon stepping up in this game, and he had, frankly, the opportunity of the game to pick up that big interception, and it just slipped through his fingers. So still 2nd and 10 here for the Wildcats.
And if Cannon held on to that one, he may have been able to take that one maybe a few more yards down the field and put the Greyhounds already in field goal position.
Yeah, there was a lot of room for him to run in front of him.
But we are seeing Tanner Asphalt back into the game. Handoff over to Moore. Moore has space to his left, and he's going to be taken down quickly once again by Drew Cannon. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be a star in the future.
Yeah, and that's sort of the aspect that you see in guys that are great, is having a short memory. Drew Cannon dropped that potential interception, and a lot of guys will get down on themselves and sort of get out of the game, but Cannon making a great stop there, continuing to show the player that he is for the Sounds team.
It's going to be 3rd and 9 now. The Wildcats are facing. Asphalt has 3 to his right. Motions over Jackson. Moore in the backfield. Asphalt gets the snap, drops back, looks to the middle of the field, and a great catch by Jackson to pick up the first down.
Yeah, really threading the needle there and picking up the first down for the Wildcats. I'm not sure how he caught that ball. It was one of those 50-50 balls as the whistle is blown for an injury timeout.
Cannot tell who the injured player is on the field, as I believe it might be Will Strines coming off the field.
Running on his own. That's a good sign. Looks like maybe his hand is the injury. I can't tell.
He might have not been injured. It might just be the referees are looking out for him. You need to come off one play and kind of come back in after that.
Yep.
But that kind of gives both teams to reset quickly, as a 7-8 lead still held by the Wildcats. 7:50 left to play here in the start of the third quarter. Asphalt has 2 in the backfield. Gives it off to himself, thinks about it, and is going to be swallowed up by the Greyhounds as the ball popped out the end. But the whistle was blown. But once again, you saw the first guy on that was Drew Cannon. If that was a fumble, if free play was a thing here in the high school level, I think he may have fumbled that at the end.
Yeah, Asplett was very, very down there, but still a great stop for the Carmel defense and getting some short yardage for the Wildcats.
Asphalt takes the snap, holds it once again, tries to wrap around Bryant, but he's going to be able to take him down once again. And Bryant thought he ripped the ball out again, but the refs are not going to give it to him, so a 3rd and 6 is what the Wildcats are facing.
Yeah, we saw in the first half both quarterbacks for Lawrence North tried to run the ball. They tried to scramble a little bit, and it worked out. So far in the second half, it really isn't. Carmel figured that out. They're ready for it. They're spying on it, and they're getting the stops that they need here with 3rd and 6.
And this defense is one to watch out for, too. One of the strongest defenses that we've seen in all seasons from the Greyhounds. They do focus a lot of their coaching on their defense, and we're seeing it tonight, as this is the first action for Jabril Randolph, who has been splitting time. As once again, it's going to be Jones who's actually in to pick up the first down for the Wildcats. So the Greyhounds were not able to stop the Wildcats.
Yeah, just as I said, the Hounds had sort of figured out quarterback scrambling. They just figured it out, and Jones picked up the first down here for Lawrence North.
But that's the issue. If you have two quarterbacks, one who has a rocket for an arm,
right,
and one who's able to really pick it up on the ground with his legs, you got to put him in, put the defense guessing out there.
Well, you see that a lot in collegiate teams running that 2-quarterback system, keeping the defense guessing.
Jones is still the quarterback in. Hands it off, holds it for a little bit, has more down the field, and a great catch once again for the Wildcats to put them in Greyhound territory.
Yeah, weak coverage by the Hounds. Moore was just wide open, all on his own, and so forced out of bounds eventually, and a flag is thrown on the field well after the play ended.
As
maybe even unsportsmanlike conduct?
I think the flag might have just been picked up.
Okay.
Nothing was
it
called
slipped.
on that.
Just an accident.
As Jones is still going to be the quarterback, hands it off to Moore. Moore tries to break away, but the Greyhounds defense are just going to allow him to only gain 1 yard.
Yeah, Moore was hit hard there. I'm surprised he held on to it, but he did in a very short gain, bringing up second and relatively long.
As it looks like big number 66 out there, 65, Eric King, is just wobbling a little bit on that left ankle. Something to watch out for if you are a Wildcat fan. Jones takes a snap. Play action pass over to Oldham. Tries to find a seam up the field, and every single player out there is either pushing him or trying to take him down.
Yeah, that's right. He got just enough for the first down, and the first half we noticed went by very slow. A lot of whistles, a lot of penalties, and a lot of stoppage. This half has gone by very fast so far. Just 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. So both teams pushing the momentum, pushing the tempo, and we're seeing a very quick clock so far.
And that's the thing with fast plays, exciting plays.
Right.
It's going to make the game go by quicker, and that's what these Wildcats are doing already. 3 to the right of Moore, Jones. Jones takes the snap, looks to his left, surveys, scrambles out of the pocket as it collapses. 3 Greyhounds are there to try and corral him, but he's got to pick up a few more yards with his legs.
Yeah, that's the strength we talked about for this 2-quarterback system for Lawrence North is Carmel defense has no idea what he's going to do. Is he going to air it out, or is he going to use his legs, which he's capable of doing both, and we've seen both used effectively.
As it's a 2nd and 3 that the Wildcats are facing, already in the red zone at the 19-yard line. Moore has 2 in the backfield. Jones has 2 in the backfield. More and more. Sends Davion out. Handoff. Once again, that's going to be a great tackle by the Greyhounds. Now this defense is stepping up quickly as Will Macy is credited with the tackle.
Yeah, bringing up that 3rd and 1, and we mentioned this earlier in the game with a previous 3rd and 1, where the situation will really swing either way depending on how this play goes. If the Wildcats can convert, they got a whole lot of momentum. They can score. They can put it further out of reach for Carmel. If Carmel gets the stop and just gets the field goal, they're still in it, and they're still a touchdown away from taking the lead.
And really, to put this in perspective, the Wildcats outscored their opponents twice as many times, and it looks to be a false start by the offense, but 153 points scored over 4 games for the Wildcats, only allowing 73.
Yeah, well, that high amount of points being scored, they have not faced a defense like Carmel's yet. And so this is that step up for them, showing off what they can do. And so far, only 8 points against a very good Carmel defense, sort of showing their true colors and how the rest of the season will play out for Lawrence North.
And they are pushed back to a 3-6 now at the 22, so out of the red zone. 4 minutes, 1 second left to play here.
Student section comes to life a little bit here with just under 4 to go. And a big third down for the Hounds.
As they are saying freshman bedtime. As a lot of this, I believe this juniors and seniors down there want the freshmen to help them out. As Jones is in the backfield, sends over Moore, hands it off. Moore's at the 20 and gets dragged down now at the 13-yard line to pick up the first down.
That's sort of an anticlimactic end to that massive buildup, which we've been saying all game. We mentioned during the half. But 1st and 10 in the red zone for Lawrence North. And Carmel once again could not make the stop.
Looks to be Marsh is coming off the field for this, for the Greyhounds. Jones is going to stay in at the quarterback, 3 to his right. Moore's in the backfield. Oldham is to his left. Takes the snap, tries to run out of the pocket, looks for the short pass, and Jackson is going to be tackled down by Christian Peterson, who has not seen much action and involvement yet.
Yeah, we have not said Peterson's name yet this half besides the kickoff, so great to see him getting some action and getting some opportunities here with just under 3 to play in the third quarter.
As it's a 2nd and 10 to go now. Ball's on the 13-yard line for the Wildcats, knocking on the door and trying to extend the lead that they've already had. 7-8 is the lead for the Wildcats, 2 to the right of Jones and 2 to the left. Moore's in the backfield. Handoff now to Moore. Tries to run up the middle, but it's going to be tackled down, so maybe a short gain of 1 or 2.
Yeah, bringing up 3rd and 8 looks like. And once again, same opportunity we saw with the 3rd and 6, where can the Wildcats keep momentum in their favor, keep pushing the envelope, get into the end zone, will the Hounds finally make that stop they've been looking for this entire drive.
And we've seen throughout this entire game, the Wildcats run a lot of jet sweep options where they want the wide receiver to kind of get the ball and try and run around the entire defense to throw the defense off. And the play action has been the killer tonight. As Jones has it, looks to his left. Bryan is trying to get to him. Jones is trying to direct traffic. Has a man open in the end zone and overthrows him. As it's a 4th and 8, and this is where you bring out the field goal.
Yeah, this is, like you mentioned with the jet sweep, the Wildcats chose not to go to that option offense for this play. Instead of more of a traditional quarterback play, and they just couldn't get it. Great opportunity in the back corner, but too high. So field goal unit comes out, hoping to make it a 4-point lead for the Wildcats and giving the Hounds the ball with about 14 minutes to play with.
And it looked to be more of a bubble screen was set up to the left of Jones, but he was trying to just roll out to the right and throw off the Greyhound defense. But just like this, blocked field goal by the Greyhounds as the kicker for the Wildcats stuttered on the kick.
Can't stutter, Casey. And that is turnover 16 for the Hounds this year.
They are, feels like almost 3 a game. They are past that now, as this defense is one to watch for the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, this play starts to come to life now with a massive turnover, keeping the lead to 1, and now a field goal puts you ahead with 1:39 left to play in the third quarter.
As the ball is going to be at the 21-yard line, or excuse me, the 16-yard line for the Greyhounds. They need to put a few string plays together and get down the field. 1:39 left to play here in the third quarter. Corner takes the snap over to Tucker. Tucker's trying to work around as he finds some open field, breaks away, and he gets tackled down past the 25.
Yeah, this might be the first time tonight we've seen a solid, or besides the Alfayette run to start the second half, but a massive run play by a Carmel running back that wasn't followed by a couple flags for holding. So great to see the offensive line providing the holes that our running backs need and sort of keeping these running backs doing what they need to do, and that's run.
As the ball is going to be at the 28. Greyhounds need to put something together here. Corner in shotgun. Takes the snap. Option to Tucker. Tucker has it. Has to get past one. He does. Off the sideline. and goes out of bounds at the 48, as that's one of his biggest runs that he's had all season.
Yeah, Tucker just needed to beat that one man to get a whole lot of running room, and he did. He came through, and so a massive first down and a massive play for these Hounds, and they are cooking here with a minute to go here in the third.
As he's going to advance the ball up to the 50-yard line, so almost in Wildcat territory, as Colin Johnson is going to check into the game. Have not seen much action out of him in tonight's game.
Quiet night for CJ, but we'll see what he can do now.
As the Wildcats show blitz, and they do. Johnson tries to find a seam up the middle, and he's going to pick up, I believe, 4 or 5 yards on that.
Yeah, solid gain of 4 for Johnson, and that's all that you need from on a first down at midfield. So a 2nd and 6. Hounds will have enough time for probably one more play before the end of this quarter.
And Caleb Beeler slow to get up, the linebacker, number 23 for the Wildcats, as he looks to just be limping a little bit. So that might be a concern for the Wildcats if he goes out. Al-Fayed checks in at the running back position. 2 and 6 to go as the clock is going to dip under 20 seconds left here to play.
Play clock at 5.
I was just about to say that. Al-Fayed has some open field in front of him, and the ball comes out, and it's going to be out of bounds past the 40-yard line at the 37. So as the entire crowd held their breath there for the Greyhounds, Al-Fayed having one of his first fumbles of the entire season, but picks up the first down.
Yeah, lucky break for the Hounds. That is something that you do not want to see with some massive momentum going into the Hounds' way. A fumble would have killed all of that, so luckily it had just the right amount of bounce and found its way out of bounds.
As the Greyhounds the offense, and it looks that
Timeout.
Might be a timeout, yes.
Oh, maybe injury timeout?
Injury timeout.
Yeah.
And I believe, like I said just moments ago, that's Caleb Beeler, who's down on the ground for the Wildcats. That linebacker, the junior 6-foot linebacker, as he is down. Not a good sight to see.
Yeah, definitely not. And in this point in the game, you need your defense to step up if you're Lawrence North, and you can't afford to have guys go down. So we'll see who can be, if he has to come out, who will be that next man up. That's sort of the mentality for this team and every team.
And if you're Jacob Brown as a senior, this is your chance to come into the game if Beeler cannot stand strong through this. But injuries are not good to see at all in any game. Lucky enough, the Greyhounds have not had any except for one. I believe it was a hand injury earlier.
That's what we thought it was, yeah.
To Strines, yes.
Like you said, you hate to see anybody get hurt, but because that's what you want to see. You want to see best on best, night in and night out. And so, like we mentioned before, Carmel's defense is sort of short-handed, so we'll see what sort of this battle of backups defensively can do.
As 9 seconds are left on the clock here in the third quarter, score 7-8. Greyhounds have put a few plays together. Corner has Al-Fayed in the backfield. Gives it to Al-Fayed. Johnson is in the backfield, and he's going to be put to the ground quickly.
Yeah, no gain.
As he might be down too.
No gain for Colin Johnson as the third quarter comes to an end. But as you said, he does not look overly well, and so the training staff will check him out and hopefully get him back on his feet and get him back running, as we have 12 minutes to play and still a 1-point game.
And we did see Brady Knudsen kind of warm up in warm-ups earlier. He was earlier throughout the season as the number 1 running back, with kind of Norval Tucker playing that wide receiver position with no Rogers and no Al-Fayed. So we might be seeing some action out of Knudsen tonight, with Johnson looking a little shaken up after that last play.
Yeah, we have not seen any Knudsen so far tonight, as you said, but the depth of this running back unit has been part of the strength of Carmel's offense so far this year. And so like we mentioned, that one man up, next man up mentality, Knudsen could be that guy where when it comes down to crunch time in a very close game that we have tonight, Knudsen might have to be that guy to step up and perform for his team.
As going into the fourth quarter, the score is 7-8. The Greyhounds have a 2-9 go on the 37, looking to put one into the end zone ever since their first drive on the first half. And ever since then, the Greyhounds have been pretty much at a stalemate.
Yeah, Carmel, like you said, scored very early, and we thought this could be a very offensively heavy game for the Hounds like we saw against King. But they've been quiet ever since, but hopefully we'll hear a few more fireworks tonight.
As Coyer takes the snap, Tucker to his left, throws it to absolutely no one.
Looks like he threw it to the ball boy for Lawrence North.
It does look like that. And that's a miscue on him. He's normally a very, very active guy who's able to complete passes consistently, and that's a surprise to me.
Yeah, and a 3rd and long in not quite field goal territory. You might think about it, though. Are you thinking about it?
I'm not actually on this one. You're at the 37.
Yep.
It's way too close of a game to kind of risk anything. Greyhounds are going to go hurry up here. Wildcats show they're rushing forward. It's a pass from Coyer. Has a deep man in Mace and overthrows Mace in double coverage. Might have not been the best decision.
Yeah, way too strong on that pass by Coyer and not the right guy either. Not a whole lot of great decisions, but looks like the offense
might
stay out there for 4th down.
I mean, you're at the 37.
Right.
This is, I believe they're actually at the 36.
You're not in punt range and you're not in field goal range. You're in sort of no man's land where you got to pick up 9 yards for the game possibly.
This is where you just go for it. This is really the nail-biter situation. You're on your heels, basically. And Hebert is going to call a timeout for the Greyhounds and take a look at this. This is where your playbook might open up slightly.
Right, you got to sort of pick out the playground plays that you drew up a few weeks ago to sort of figure out this Wildcat defense because they have been very strong tonight. So in a 1-point game in the final quarter of the game, you got to think of something a little creative.
And we have seen them put some creative plays out there. We've seen a Christian Peterson run. We've seen a Christian Peterson pass for a touchdown. And we've seen a Christian Peterson pick 6.
We've seen a lot of Christian Peterson this year.
This entire season.
And I'm here for it.
I'm here for it, too. He's an amazing player. I don't think the Greyhounds are going to try and risk bringing him out here on offense tonight. We might possibly see a pass play like we've seen. If you run the ball here, you have to really hope your offensive line can hold them.
I say there's no running the ball here in this situation.
I would agree.
Yeah, you're not deep enough in the Wildcat territory where you can push them far enough back where it's poor territory for them. So definitely look to see Coyer passing. 4th and 9.
As the clock is now underway. 11:50 here left to play in the 4th quarter. Coyer takes the snap. Looks to his right as the pocket collapses. Rolls out right. Has a wide open man, but tries to juke around. And it looks to be that he might be. And he gets the first down for the Greyhounds.
Coyer stumbling and bumbling and falling with just enough yards. Nate Rogers was wide open, but Coyer says, no, thank you. I will take it myself. And a massive first down. And everybody here held their breath for a good 12 seconds there.
I think Nate Rogers and Norville Tucker were both open in the middle of the field, but that could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
As you're throwing cross body and hoping that your ball placement is perfect. And tonight, Coyer's not been on top of it, but picks up the first down with the legs. And it's going to be, I believe, a possible false start on the offense. So that's going to push back the Greyhounds 5 yards. As Al-Fayed's going to check in now.
Yeah, Tucker comes out, Al-Fayed comes in, and again, the strength and the depth for Carmel's running backs. Every guy's capable of getting massive yardage.
And we might not see any other running backs other than Tucker and Al-Fayed tonight, as those two guys have really come together and put a lot of big plays. Tucker broke away for an over 20-yard run, and really, Al-Fayed has just been quite quiet, but he's been good in the pass game, finding some open lanes and really waiting for Coyer to find them. Hand off to Al-Fayed. Jukes left, but once again, a great tackle by Lunsford as he has had a great game. The interception earlier and now just a tackle for loss.
Yeah, Lunsford, a massive player and a leader for this Wildcat team. He really sets the mood on the field and in the locker room, so great to see him getting some action and hyping up this Wildcat team.
As the Greyhounds are faced with the 2-15 at their own 31. The Wildcats 31. 7-8 is the score. You need to get into field goal position or really put the ball into play. Trust your playmakers. Over to Al-Fayed, gets a few yards on that, but he was hit hard, and he is down. Or excuse me.
He got right back up.
He got right back up, and an injured player's on the ground for the Wildcats. Cannot tell who it is from where we are up here.
Yeah, he hit Al-Fayed so hard he hurt himself.
That's a dangerous play.
Yeah. You ever been afraid of your own strength, Casey?
I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Fight or flight. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know how strong I am.
Right.
You can tell.
I can't tell.
Yeah. We got the biceps out. No sun out.
Sun's out, but guns are still out.
Sun's gone.
Is that what as I say?
Well, actually,
out?
the sun is out somewhere in the world.
Sun's out somewhere.
But we do hope that I believe who's on the ground, that is Cameron Armstrong, the senior corner for the Wildcats, as he's able to stand up quickly after being checked out by the medical staff. He's going to come off the field, able to walk. I think he may have just gotten the wind blown out of him.
30 years ago, they'd say he got his bell rung. So just sort of shaking up and walking on his own back to the sideline.
.10:33 left to play here. 7-8 is the score. The Wildcats have not put any other offense up on the board ever since their 2-point conversion and touchdown, which came off of a 63-yard touchdown run by Xavier Moore.
Well, we saw Lawrence North really sped up the game when they had the ball, but Carmel's been slowing it down since they got it, taking a lot of time off and really taking their time to get the opportunities that they want in a chance to score and take a lead here.
Corner motions, Pollard to his left, takes the snap, hand off to Tucker, and once again, the playmaker for the team, Lunsford, is in the backfield to get another tackle for loss.
Yeah, that'll bring up 4th down, and looks like the field goal unit is coming out. This is a massive play here.
This is Ploschek's really. You're relying on him to put this one up through the uprights.
Yeah, Ploschek hasn't had the chance yet to really be that hero so far, so this could be his first real highlight of the year.
This is a 46-yard field goal.
It's long. That's all we know.
Snap from corner. Takes it, and it's up, and it's good! And the Greyhounds are taking the lead, as that's Ploschek's longest field goal of the season. 10-8 is your score, as the Greyhounds fans are cheering loud for Josh Ploschek as he gives the lead back to the Greyhounds.
The big man steps up, and Ploschek puts the Hounds in front. We've been waiting for it all night, saying, are we quite in field goal range? Just for as much as this Carmel team trusts their kicker. And we got a 2-point ball game in favor of the Hounds.
As that was an exciting moment as Alec Dodosho rang the bell for the Greyhounds. And really, that's what you're down there as a student section to do. You got to bring the momentum back to your side as the Greyhounds are really trying to extend what they've started. Their defense now needs to stop the Wildcats here on their next drive.
Yeah, a stop here, maybe even a 3-and-out would be massive for the Greyhounds. Get the ball back in your hands, take as much of the clock off as you'd like, because you have a lead now, and it's been a little while since you had this lead.
You're right. So as both teams really talk with their coaches to find out what they need to put together here, Noah Ploschek, that's a huge momentum shifter.
Yeah.
That might have been one of the longest drives that the Greyhounds have put together this entire season.
Right.
As it took off what it felt like almost the entire third quarter.
Yeah.
And you're taking off 3 minutes from the fourth quarter already. Ploschek now is going to line up for this kick.
See how much adrenaline this young man has in him after that kick.
He might hit it from here.
He might. He could hit the scoreboard from here. I've seen him do it.
From the 40. Ploschek lines up. Sends this one off. Oh, you can see. That's a high. Received at the 3. Wildcats are looking to advance up. But once again, this special teams for the Greyhounds is able to wrap him up and bring him to the ground as Jackson was wrapped up and brought down to the ground quickly.
Yeah, big step up by this Hound special team. And we're seeing them time and time again show up when they're needed. So not very good field possession for the Wildcats. So Here's their chance to sort of throw that punch back and take the lead.
Here they are at the 21 in their own territory. Jones is going to be the quarterback. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Moore is in the backfield. Jones takes a snap, hand off to Moore. Moore's going to try and run through the defense, but is only able to pick up, I believe, 5 or 6 yards on that.
Yeah, got a lot of push from his offensive line there, and that's what you want if you're a running back.
As this Greyhounds defense needs to stand strong here. They need to find a way to stop any momentum that the Wildcats are trying to shift their way.
Yeah, you'd love to see a stop here, bring up that 3rd down, and not let them get an early 1st down in this possession as the clock ticking close to 9 minutes.
9:13 left to play. Ball's on the 27 of the Wildcats. 2nd and 4 to go. Jones has it. Waits for the snap. Gets the snap. Play action pass, and he throws it all the way over to Jackson, and Jackson's just going to run out of bounds to pick up the 1st down. As that is really an exciting play. You got to change what's going on out there on the field and really shift the momentum towards your side.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of production from the screen pass. Not consistently, not every single drive, but when it's used, it's been effective for the Wildcats.
As the clock now dips under 9 minutes left to play. 10-8 is the score here. Jones takes the snap, rolls out right, has a man if he wants him, goes deep, and wide open is Isaiah Jackson as he gets it in at the 37, shakes off the first defender, and is going to be tackled down at the 25 as the defense completely lost out there.
Yeah, absolutely inexcusable by Carmel there. I don't know whose job that was or who was supposed to be covering there, but he was wide open with no defender in a 2-mile radius.
And that is a scary sight for the Greyhounds. If you are the Wildcats,
hold on now.
There might be a flag on the play.
They are bringing it all the way back.
As that disrupts the amazing passing performance from Montez Jones as he's jogging over the head coach of the Wildcats. As it looks to be, I believe it was holding.
Well, I take back what I said. That is absolutely excusable by the Carmel defense.
That just shows that your front 4, your guys that are up there who are trying to rip past the offensive linemen, they are hard guys to kind of block.
Yeah, those first few seconds of a play really make or break it and how you can get past those first 4.
As it's going to be a 1st and 15 now, so I believe it wasn't holding. It might have been play clock,
perhaps.
10-8 is the score. Jones has 3 to his right, 1 to his left. Moore's in the backfield. Jones takes a snap, pitches it over to Moore. And it's going to be a pass once again. And just like that, Chandler has the ball at the 20, at the 10, and dusts every single Greyhound. And what trickery has been played here in the Greyhound Stadium by the Wildcats.
Yeah, Lawrence North got a little fancy there, and it paid off. Massive touchdown, but they left so much time on the clock. There is a massive opportunity now for the Hounds with 8.5 to play. They still have an opportunity to come back and win this ball game.
Now, do you think they're going to go for 2 here?
Oh, definitely.
You have to.
You have to. There's no reason to not.
You already have 4-point lead.
An extra point still gives the Hounds a touchdown for the lead.
So you have to.
A 2-point conversion makes a touchdown tie it.
It does.
Yeah.
So you really rely on your defense after this.
Yep.
To come back, but we're going to see what's happening down there on the field. As Hebert is putting in some of his toughest guys. Marsh possibly coming into the game. As the
Looks
offense.
like a timeout is called.
Looks to be a timeout is going to be called now, so both sides really just need to. Really, if you're a Greyhound fan, you're holding your breath from here.
Yeah, it's. And, you know, Casey, there's a long game still to play. 8 minutes can take a long time in a football game like this. So we're not quite holding our breath yet, but
you're on your heels.
But it feels like it. It feels like you should be holding your breath, but then there's a whole lot of games still to be played.
With the score being now 10-14, quick action from the Wildcats. The Greyhounds defense, this might be one of the toughest positions that they've been in as like we said, the Wildcats are going for 2. Jones is going to be the quarterback. They're going to possibly run the same play like they did earlier for their 2-point conversion. Jones sends over Moore, takes it by himself, and is going to try and go in, but the Greyhounds are going to stop him just like that. It's going to be a great stop by Will Macy, is credited with the tackle.
Yeah, they ran the same play twice, and it did not work out both times. Almost predictable by this Carmel defense, and so they stop it, and now a touchdown gives you the lead here with 8.5 to play.
And as a Greyhound, you really are looking to run out the clock here, but the run game has not been the best thing, as while the numbers say it might be with 116 total running yards, that's really been broken up through 3 quarters. And you really have only had 1 or 2 explosive plays, and that's really, you're relying on Anthony Colner to run out and really scramble to pick up yards. And Norville Tucker broke away for a 20-plus yard run earlier. But since then, it's really been those small 3 or 4 yard pickups.
Yeah, we say we've been waiting for Colner to get loose. Most games, it takes him a little bit to get comfy, and in the second half, he really pops off. But saw a little bit of signs of life from him in the third quarter, so really hoping to see him use the arm that he has and the legs that he has that go quiet often. We'll see that when it comes down to crunch time here in this ballgame.
And the Greyhounds defense is used to being on the field for a long time. Their first game being on the field for over 37 minutes, while the offense only held the ball for 12. But it looks to be completely reversed, as the Greyhounds offense has really held on to the ball almost completely in this game with a lot of run plays, but they've not been able to capitalize, as the Wildcats were able to strike fast and strike hard. As it's going to be a squib kick once again, and just recovered, and it's going to be down at the 36 is where the Greyhounds are going to start possibly one of their final drives tonight.
Yeah, hopefully the way that the Hounds offense has been playing this game, they can take up this entire clock if they want to. So eating up 8 minutes will not be a difficult task. The only difficulty will be keeping the guys on the field, getting those first downs.
I was just about to say, you need those first downs in this crucial time that you are in, as the Wildcats are fighting to really hold their lead 14-10 with just 8:22 left to play. Corner takes a snap. Play action pass, and it's going to be low to Rogers as he's going to run backwards and try and work his way around. Finds a seam and is just working his way towards the line of scrimmage, but I believe he's going to make it back. So really just Rogers was trying to shake off the first guy, but ran backwards.
Yeah, I mean, gain of 0, but still a big-time play by Rogers. He was probably 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he found his way back to the line, getting those yards that that the Hounds need, and so keeping them in that 2nd and 10.
So 2nd and 10 with 7:50 left to go. 10-14, still the score. Corner with Johnson, who's come back into the game after getting, I believe, the wind knocked out of him. Corner looks to his right, tries to zip it over the field, but overthrows Bellin, as Bellin had no one around him and could have taken that one to the house.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. Corner had all the time. He had probably the most time in the pocket he's had all night, and he still overthrew his target. And like you said, Bellin could have taken that all the way home.
And Bellin was running just a really crossing route over the middle of the field. No linebackers, no corners were around him at all. And Corner could not place that on the money at all. Johnson in the backfield, 2 to the left of Corner, 1 to the right.
Big 3rd and 10 here.
Corner takes the snap. Blitz is coming, works his way around the pocket, over to Mace. And Mace is just going to pick up 5 or 4 yards there, and it's a 4th and 6. So the punt team is going to come out.
Yeah, we're not quite late enough in this game where we worry about going for it on 4th down at this point in the field. So Hounds will chip it away and just hope that the defense will get the stops they've been getting all night and give the offense another opportunity to take a lead.
And you really need to pin them in the backfield here. You really need to put them down, as Ploszczak is going to put as much power as he can on this punt. Might get a Greyhound roll, as it does. And it's going to be rolling, as special teams is going to let that run roll down all the way to the 3-yard line is where the Wildcats are going to start. And Josh Ploszczak has to be the MVP for the Greyhounds tonight.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and so that lucky bounce puts the ball all the way inside the 10 for Lawrence North, inside the 5 actually. So massive opportunity here for Carmel to see what they can do.
Wildcats are at their own 3-yard line. Greyhound defense needs to step up here with 6:48 left to play. Not enough time for them to really put something together unless their defense can step up, and we've seen them already tonight do that.
What we've seen before with this Wildcat team, this far back in their own territory, they've gotten big plays, and they've gotten out of this hole very quickly.
As Jones is going to be the quarterback. Jones takes the snap, play action, throws it over the head of Moore, and he got hit hard and shoved to the ground by Bryant.
Yeah, we got right back up and is walking it off. It looks to be all right. But like you said, massive play by the Hounds defense, setting the tone here for this drive.
And that was almost a safety, too, as 3 Greyhounds were breaking through the offensive line. So Jones had to get the ball out quickly, and as he did, he took a few shots.
One of those tackles that you feel the next morning.
You know, he might need some Advil.
Yeah, does the body good.
6:44 left to play here. Wildcats are looking to break out. Play action once again. High pass, and it's going to be Crowden. Once again, it's going to be Chandler who's going to advance the ball just down the field quickly. So it's going to be, I believe, a 3 and 4 to go. 3 and 3.
Yep. This will be one of the highlights of the game, seeing what the Hounds can do with this opportunity, or if Lawrence North can keep the chains moving and keep momentum in their way.
And for the Hounds, they need a stop here.
Need it.
They need it badly. You need either a sack, forced fumble, or something. You need to make sure that the Wildcats cannot run through your defense. You may as well drop almost everyone into coverage and have a quarterback spy so they can't scramble. As a timeout now is going to be taken
by
the Cats.
The Cats.
And with that, Noah, it's really, this is where the game is changing.
Yeah.
You have a 3 and 3 to go. If the Greyhounds stop you here, you punt it away, and the Greyhounds need to put something together. But if you get it here, you just run out the clock.
Yeah, this is going to be the play that sets the theme for the rest of the night. It'll be a very short night, but we'll see if it's either going to be Lawrence North just eating up all the clock, or if the Hounds are going to have the chance to play hero in front of this home crowd.
And if they play hero, they need to put on a show. And not all heroes wear capes.
Some wear helmets.
Some wear helmets, and we might see that tonight. They need their playmakers to step up on offense and defense. Christian Peterson has been a playmaker tonight. Artie Bryant has that sack. And really, Drew Cannon, the mistake was on him earlier that allowed the touchdown to really give the Wildcats the lead. But since then, this team needs to put something together, and they need to do it quickly with only 5:59 left to play. 3rd and 3, the biggest third down of the game is here.
Student section roaring in this third and relatively short. Here we go.
Jones has it, gives it over in a bobble, and just like that, Israel Jackson is going to be able to pick up the first down as the Greyhounds defense was not able to stop the speedster.
Yeah, just under 6 minutes to go, and now, like we said, it's the chance for the Cats to eat up as much of this clock as they would like.
And as a Greyhound, you're just hoping your defense can pull something together, force a fumble, try and get in the backfield, and really just make this Wildcats team mess up.
A turnover here would be fantastic.
As the defense is looking really miserable out there, as it feels like they can't get a break yet. Jones takes the snap over to Moore. Moore tries to find anything and works around it, but it looks to be that he's going to get a loss of 1 there.
Yeah, Moore found absolutely nothing there, met by a brick wall of Hounds, and that'll be a loss of yards, bringing up second down.
It's going to be a 2nd and 10 at the 20. As like we said, you're just trying to run out the clock for the Wildcats. You just need to make the clock run down, and if you have to punt it away, the Greyhounds have to go in that 2-minute drill.
Right. Well, if the Wildcats are trying to run down the clock, the Hounds' job is to not let them. get those quick stops, push them out of bounds if you have to, keep the clock in your favor and get as much time as you need to score.
As it's going to be a handoff once again to Moore. Marsh misses the tackle, but Brian is there to take him to the ground. So I believe it's going to be a 3-and-3 now for the Wildcats. Just the same situation, 3-5, just the same situation they were in moments ago. We might see a jet sweep to a wide receiver once again, or you're looking for a pitch play and get your running back into some space.
Yeah, Lawrence North loves using that option for their offense, so we'll see if they go back to that. Massive play here for both teams.
As Jones is going to stay in at quarterback. Moore in the backfield, 2 to his right, 2 to his left. Greyhounds defense needs to step up. As that's a flag, and there's the luck that the Greyhounds need. As just like that miscommunication between Moore and Jones, as that's going to push the Wildcats back 5 yards. So a 3rd and 10 now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, sort of the Wildcats step up in favor of the Hounds right now. We talked about the Hounds being lucky in penalties, not pulling too many, even though we've seen a good amount tonight. But that's a big-time penalty for the Hounds. So this changes everything.
It does with 4:25 left to go. You're really looking for the Hounds to step up here. This is where you need to pull everything that you have and put it all out there right now. As watching the play clock, there might be another flag as it's already dipping under 9 seconds. Jones needs to get the snap off. Under 4. Gets the snap off, looks to his right, surveys the field, tries to step up in the pocket, chases down the field, and an interception! Just like that, the game has changed. The defense has stepped up once again as the interception changes the entire game, and it puts the Greyhounds in great field position.
Yeah, this Carmel defense flips the game upside down. We were hoping for a turnover, and they got it. And now the Hounds have the momentum. They're in Wildcat territory, and now a big chance to put the game away with just under 4 minutes to go.
And a great interception for the Greyhounds as that puts them at their own 40. 3:55 left to go here. As a Greyhound fan, you just hold on to the ball. Don't make any mistakes. You can possibly lose a few yards because every down here counts. You have 4 downs to play with.
And a field goal does nothing for you here.
Handoff over to Al-Fayed, finds a seam, has some space, and gets to the first down and taken down past the 30-yard line.
Big first down to start this drive for Al-Fayed. In field goal range, but once again, that's not needed right now. The Hounds need to push for the end zone. They're looking for that blue and gold stripe far in the distance. And they got about 28 yards to go.
3 minutes, 34 left to go. If you score here and you give the ball back to the Wildcats, they're going to do anything that they can to get down the field.
Yep.
Corner in at quarterback. Takes the snap. Handoff once again to Al-Fayed as he fights through almost every single defensive lineman and picks up just a few yards.
Flag is thrown. They might have to bring this back.
I will put money on it. That is another holding call.
How much?
Absolutely none.
All right.
Yeah.
CHTV does not condone gambling.
And with that, the Greyhounds are going to be pushed back 10 yards.
Oh, because of the holding on the offense that
yes.
you did not bet on.
Do not condone.
We don't.
Nope.
1st and 20.
As the score is 10-14, a nail biter here at the home stadium of the Greyhounds.
Clock approaching 3 minutes.
Corner needs to put something together. Mace is in motion. Pitch to Mace with a throw. He has a wide open, and just like that, Christian Peterson falls as Mace's pass was just a little underthrown.
Yeah, Lawrence North earlier in the game got a touchdown by being creative. And Carmel tries to do the same thing, and they just can't come through. A lot of pieces did not fall into place there. So
And what I will say is Carson Mason and I were talking throughout this week, and he was excited that he had a play for him. And that was the play that he was talking to me about. He couldn't tell me much about it, but he was like, hey, watch for me out on the field. And really, that was on Peterson. As he is in at wide receiver, you need your playmakers in, and he is one. Corner has the ball, goes deep for Rogers. Rogers with a great catch at the 15-yard line. And that puts the Greyhounds in better field goal position, but even better scoring position.
That's what we've been waiting for all night from Anthony Coloner. He got the time that he needed in the pocket. He stepped up, and he put the ball in Rogers' hands. That's what this entire stadium's been waiting for tonight.
As that puts the Greyhounds at the 15-yard line, the passing game is coming together now.
Yep, it's coming together a little later than we anticipated, but the Hounds are starting to cook, and they got a big chance here at the 15-yard line.
Corner takes a snap, handoff to Tucker. Tucker's just fighting for a few yards, but as he's going to be taken to the ground quickly, and you can't really run the ball up the middle. That's what teams are going to suspect almost any time you have one of your running backs in. If you're a Greyhound player out there, you need to make something happen. Rogers stepped up in the clutch and just pushed the ball down the field. Every other single player needs to step up now.
Yeah, Nate Rogers is one of those guys that just loves to win, and so he's going to take the chances that he gets, that we just saw him get, to give his team the best chance they have to win.
With senior night here, corner takes the snap, pitches it over to Tucker at the 10, and he's going to be taken down close to the first-yard marker as he may have gotten it.
I think he is just short, going to be a few inches.
3rd and 1.
They're calling it 3rd and 1.
Now, do you put Pollard in at the fullback?
I would love to see some OP right here.
Some OP might be the option here.
Some OP 8-5.
But last time he was in there, it was a 4th and 1, and he got stopped.
Yeah, but he's done it before, and I think he'll do it again. He's been sort of the fridge for this Carmel offense.
They're not going to put
but
Pollard.
He is lining up as a blocker.
Moves over to the left. Tucker in the backfield. Wildcats show blitz. And that's going to be a false start. Great cadence. Or excuse me. It will be a false start.
It's a false start.
I was thinking of a neutral zone infraction. As that's going to push the Greyhounds back 5 yards. That is not a good look for them.
That's not what you want to see. Hey, at least it's not 4th down. And at this point in the game, there's a minute left, 3rd and 6. You're not worried about 4th down. That's just another opportunity. So we have 2 chances now to see the Hounds try to get that 1st down, or maybe even a little extra and get in the end zone.
Clock dips down, under a minute left to play. This is where the history books are starting to write. Corner has Al-Fayed in the backfield. Takes a snap, looks to his left, rolls out right, directs traffic, and just throws it. Pollard with the catch, and the touchdown! The Greyhounds have scored! The Greyhounds have scored! Ozzie Pollard, it was OP time!
Excellent block by Al-Fayed, giving his quarterback the time he needs to find the receiver. Every guy is stepping up, and the Hounds take the lead with 40 seconds left. That is big time.
Ozzie Pollard, known to be the tight end for blocking and fullbacks, but he showed that he has the hands to catch it and take it in. As this is the crucial moment. You have to get the field goal point here, the extra point. Plaschek is up, and it's good, as the Wildcats, with 2 timeouts, need to march down the field and possibly get a field goal.
So, yeah, the Cats have 40 seconds here to either go nuts and take a lead and take everybody's breath away, or get down just enough down the field to get us some free football tonight. But we'll see if the Hounds defense can step up and send us home happy. 40 seconds left. This has been the game that we were hoping for. 2 teams with a lot to prove, and they've been proving it tonight.
And that drive was really carried on Norval Tucker and Nate Rogers, 2 seniors being recognized here at senior night. Those 2 guys, the 15-yard catch, and then just the breakaway runs from Tucker.
I want to talk about Al-Fayed's block again. Did you see that?
I did not, actually. I was more focused on
Alfie's block was nuts. He was lined up on the right side, and he just took an absolute blow. the defender flattened him, but that didn't matter because it gave Coyer the time that he needed to find Pollard.
So he kind of got thrown down.
Basically, he used his body as a sacrifice.
Hey, put everything you got. Now, if you're Ploschek here, what are your thoughts? Are you doing a squib kick?
Absolutely not.
Are you going touchback?
Touchback. In this level of competition, do not give them an extra 40 yards when they're looking for a field goal. If you're up by 6 or 7, sure, take some time off the clock, but you do not want to give them any advantage in getting in field goal position.
As Ploschek now is looking to send it away. This is the Wildcats' last drive, trying to hold on to their 4-0 record as the Greyhounds have a chance to knock off the 13th ranked team in the state of Indiana, as the Greyhounds are ranked 17th. This should be a big win for them if they can make this happen. 17-14 is the score. Under 40 seconds left to play. Ploschek lines up for the kick. Delivers this one downfield. Taken in at the 7. Wildcats look for any space out there. And just like that, they have a seam at the 40, at the 50, at the 40. Once again, shakes off a tackle and gets dragged down at the 25-yard line, already in field goal position. Just like that, Davion Chandler, the junior, makes a highlight of a play.
Yeah, this Hounds defense was going into this drive expecting to just show up and maybe stop them in their own 25. Hope for a touchback even. But now they really got to bunker down. You cannot let them get in the end zone. Force the 4th down or just force the clock to drop far down enough to force the field goal, and they've blocked the field goal before.
At this point, you're really just relying on overtime. If you're a
Keep them out of the end zone. Keep them out of the end zone. The only goal for this Carmel defense.
Drop every single person into the end zone if you have to.
This is 1,000% prevent defense all the way out.
As it's going to be Aspelt who's in at the quarterback. Small throw, and it's overthrown behind Jackson. 2nd and 10. 23 seconds left to play here. Score 17-14. Wildcats already in field goal thanks to an amazing return from Davion Chandler. And this is Aspelt's time to really shine here.
Yeah, that was a fingertip away from a pick by Marsh. But alas, it is 2nd and 10.
As once again, you need to put a play together to possibly pick up the 1st down and put the Greyhounds on their heels. But you have to go quick. You have 23 seconds. You have 2 timeouts in the back pocket. But Aspelt here. Moore's in the backfield. Greyhounds rush 3. As it's going to be a quick handoff to Aspelt. He's trying to get out of bounds, and he does. Marsh takes him out. Not to the 1st down marker yet, but close, as it's going to be 3rd down now. 3rd and 4 to go.
Yeah, that's part of the goal for this Hounds defense right here, too, is keep them in bounds, keep the clock running, and they failed to do that. There's 17.8 seconds to play.
As this is really the game.
It's been a doozy, Casey.
It is. I'm telling you, it's for the history books.
I know. I'm going to tell my grandkids about this game.
I'm showing my grandkids this game.
Yeah. Hounds Nation comes to life here. 3rd and 4, 17 seconds.
Aspelt has the ball. Waits for it. Sends Moore into motion. Play action pass. Looks for the end zone. And it's going to be a tip by Jabril Randolph. Jabril Randolph with the pass deflection as he puts his man on lockdown after that. 4th and 4 to go, as this is the last chance.
This is the game, possibly, likely, almost certainly.
And it looks like I don't think that the Wildcats have anyone who's able to really chip this into the field goal, or they just don't trust any of their players.
Yeah, they're not sending the field goal unit out quite yet.
Now they are.
Okay, it's not quite the game.
But here's the thing. Last time the kicker was up, the Greyhounds blocked the field goal.
This Hounds team is very great at blocking kicks.
4 blocked kicks, including the one earlier on the season. Almost won a game.
Here we go.
As this is the moment that everyone's waiting for. 12 seconds left to play. 17-14. A block kick wins the game for the Greyhounds. Yes! It is blocked! It is blocked! The Greyhounds blocked the kick! And that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Greyhounds come out of nowhere and a block kick wins the game, 17-14.
Wildcats perfect, no more. The Hounds step up. The special teams gets it done. 2nd block kick of the night. It looks like the Hounds are going home happy.
This is one for the history books, Noah. Like we've been saying, the team came out of nowhere. It all started with the Jabril Randolph deflection, and then the special teams stepped up once again, as this is a game that anyone should be watching and everyone should be.
One for the history books, as you said. Carmel will get the ball at their own 12-yard line. Nothing but victory formation here on out. And a very sad bus ride for this Lawrence North Wildcat team.
You know, they are holding their heads up high, as that is what they should be.
Hey, you know, the undefeated season was great while it lasted 4 weeks. They beat Avon. They beat Avon.
You and your Avon. You and Avon.
But they are no match for these Hounds.
As this is one game that no one expected to turn out with a 17-14 victory for the Greyhounds, really carried by their defense stepping up when it counted.
Yeah, back in the win column go the Hounds. 3-2 is the record, above 500, and these Hounds fans are going home happy.
You know, for you and me, Noah, this game was just fun to watch.
This was
That's
very fun. Very fun to watch and very fun to talk about.
Exciting.
Very much so.
Let's see, what's a word that you would describe it? One word.
Heart attack.
Heart attack. You know, I would agree with you, as every single player out there put everything that they had out on the field, and it was shown tonight.
There were a good 5 or 6 moments in this game where I had to hold my breath and let you do all the talking because I could not handle it.
I would say close to the end with just the field goal.
Yeah.
The field goal was probably the hardest part for any Greyhound fan listening and watching, that you had to hold your breath for and didn't know what was going to happen.
And, you know, this Hounds team has historically been great. Past couple seasons haven't been quite to that caliber. And so this entire fan base and community has been waiting for a game like this to really surge back up the love for this team.
And I would 100% agree with you, Noah, but it's really, where do they go on from here now?
Yeah.
Now, for the Wildcats, coming off of a loss, going into their next week 4-1, they got to bounce back. And for the Greyhounds, they are back in the winning column. 3-2, and this is where the Greyhounds need to pick up the momentum. And just a few more weeks left. You're going into the sectional round very soon.
Yeah, you love to see it. Well, that's all for us up here in the booth. I have been Noah Boudouris, joined alongside Casey Stevens. Let's send it down to the sideline.
Welcome back to the Carmel Football Stadium. What an exciting game and an exciting finish we just saw. Josh, tell us your thoughts about the end of that game and the second half.
Dashaun, what an amazing game. The Greyhounds do come on top, 17-14. I was a little nervous going into the fourth quarter, I must say. Our defense definitely did not make the adjustments we needed to. Our offense is not creating opportunities. But wow, did that change in the fourth quarter. It looked to me like the Greyhounds got a second wind. Dashaun, I'm talking about the interception down the stretch. Ozzie Pollard, another touchdown, his 5th of the season in the clutch. I was with, I believe, under a minute remaining. I mean, these guys just pulled it together, and especially with the field goal block to tie the game. I mean, what an amazing finish to this game, Dashaun. What do you think?
Very true. That was one of the most dramatic finishes I've ever seen in a game. As you said, the touchdown was less than a minute. It looks like it's all over. Nope, Lawrence North takes the kick all the way down to the 23-yard line. They get down to the red zone. They take the kick from just a few yards out, and it's blocked. What an amazing finish to this game.
And Dashaun, the word of the day for sure is integrity. That is an integrity wing by the Greyhounds. There were so many ups and downs to that game. It looked like there were times where we were out of it. It looked like there were times where we were going to have it. And they stayed locked in. The Greyhounds were able to keep calm and make sure they did what they had to do to win this game, and that's exactly what they did.
And with that, the Carmel Greyhounds move back into the winning column at 3-2, and Lawrence North slides to 4-1. Before we end the show, is there anything else you have to say, Josh?
Dashaun, what an amazing game. What an amazing night for football.
Yes, it was. Good night, everyone. That is the end of our post-game show.